something. I forgot about it in 2 seconds. That's about it. It took me 10 years to find the answer to something. I forgot about it in 2 seconds. I don't have anything that's really important to me. That's why everything is beautiful.
The PS.
Hello, everybody. My name is Orange Boy, and welcome to the stream.
Welcome to the PS3 stream.
What?
What?
What? Whatever, it doesn't matter, shut up.
Hey,
Crimson, you don't say what, we say what, you answer.
Okay, so anyways, yeah, that's... Hello, everybody. Welcome to the stream. I, got 2 bottles of water, because I'm thirsty. That's why I didn't... Water.
I've got 2 turntables and a microphone.
Bottles of
Cool.
cans and just clap your
Are you
hands.
sure it's enough to quench your thirst, huh?
What? Huh?
Are you sure 2 bottles are enough to quench your thirst?
You know, I'm always thirsty, that's the problem.
Yeah.
It just doesn't
are a
end.
master, you are a master of honey pop.
Shut up.
Oh yeah, you got that achievement.
It's
Yeah,
true,
yeah.
you did.
Look, I
Some
just
of the girls from
wanted...
Honey Pop.
I
are cute.
just wanted to do the puzzles.
He's playing the Coom game, says the guy who streamed Tsukihime to a audience.
Yeah, listen, at least I wasn't... Look, you may... Look, I may be the guy who, completed... Not even completed, I finished it. But you fucking... You played the Vampire Blowjob game and then stopped right after the Vampire Blowjob.
I'm thinking about continuing it.
AC was like,
I want to
it's
see more vampire blowjobs.
So are we casting
Orange.
Umineko in favor of honey pop?
No.
Or Tsukihime.
Orange,
See
you,
it on Twitch.
Orange, you 100%ed the game just because you like the puzzles?
I didn't 100%, I finished it and then I stopped playing it.
To be fair, I did 100% a porn game. But to be fair, I did refund it that same night.
I'm sure.
Watch the game be
Wow.
like ankle exposure.
Not only did you complete a game, you also deprived the developers of their hard-earned money. That's bastard logic.
That porn game was not really well developed.
But you finished it.
Porn game.
It's not even like it didn't even have a story. You just watched a girl do sex things.
A porn game didn't have a story. Colored me surprised.
I mean, like,
And then,
he may have
and
a
then
story.
like the clothing would weirdly clip through her body and shit like that, and it was real bad.
Wait, Josh, was it 3D?
Yes, bro. Why are you asking?
Hey, Orange
That's
is the
why
stream
it's bad.
starting? Yeah, okay,
you better
everybody
believe
shut
the
up.
stream
Everybody
starting
shut
because
up.
it's time for Umineko. When they cry, don't start that! No, don't start the opening.
When they cry.
Oh no! We're gonna get spoiled!
Spoilers!
We can watch it once episode 8 ends.
What?
He said we can watch it.
When they cry.
Silence. This episode of Umineko is brought to you by Justice.
Justice.
Yeah, from Helltaker.
Sound of crashing waves. The sound of tide surging. The noise of the sea breeze. Whenever my headache torments me, these are the sounds that fill my head. Unable to bear success. I was in a very difficult position with regards to the Ushirimiya family. Whenever I heard of a drug or an incident that could make you achieve pregnancy, I tried it.
Oh,
But
Shelly,
nothing
please.
had any effect.
Kelly, please use dog.
Wait,
And
didn't we go and read through this already?
We did. I also believe we have.
Hmm?
We read this.
We read
Did
through
I?
this!
Yeah.
Did I forget to
Or
fucking
Yeah.
save?
Did you load the wrong save?
No.
Bruh.
Wait a minute.
Aw.
The last time I saved was the 28th. Our last Umineko stream was... Hold on.
I believe we've had one this year at all.
Hold on.
We
Our
had
last
one here.
one
It was on the first!
It was on the first, that's right. Shit, did I forget to fucking save?
Why
Did you save in the ad pages?
Wow, so unprofessional.
Anyway,
Oh wow, I can't.
It's time for speed.
where?
man.
Jesus Christ! Where did you stop off? Like, where did you guys stop?
We
It
literally
was
just...
we got to the next chapter.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, so let's see.
You can wait. Can you like go to the log? Oh wait, no, you can't. It'll just go wherever
Yeah,
you've been.
Mhm, okay, yeah.
Holy
Yeah,
shit,
okay, yep. This part, uh-huh.
Delusion.
Joshy, good news, you'll be able to bring the bit back.
What? I'll put the Sonic. I'll put the Escape from the City. I don't think I'll put that music.
Well, that's, all's well that ends well. Something tells me that everything is not going to end well, though.
They're calling out Scatland. They're calling out Scatman's world.
I was gonna say something really stupid, but Zaz would want to shoot me for.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Last chatter, finally, we're back.
What were you going to say, Joshy?
No, you're gonna
Sorry
be
about
like,
that, folks.
Now go ahead, Josh.
You're gonna be like, no, can I serve me?
I'd do it.
Morning of... Wait, okay, no, wait, we did Morning of Tragedy, too, that's right.
We also did this.
Yeah.
This is
Mhm.
Okay, fine. Since Zaz is insistent, I would have been like, the happy ending is Angie sitting on my face.
Oh my god.
Wow, jail.
Oh
Jail.
crap, yeah, we did do this!
No,
Jail,
we
she's
did it.
18.
We did this.
Yeah, we did.
Mhm.
Yeah, because that was the...
Oh no, such tragedy.
Oh no! A family.
What?
Broken.
That?
That was me getting my delicious water from my company branded fucking mug.
He has some delicious
Sound like
water.
a horror sound
So let-
effect.
Straight, you're talking about me having a microphone that makes a sound, and then you do that, really?
I mean, we're
Shelly,
speeding through
yours
shit.
is bad.
No, it's not even that bad. We're literally speeding through shit. It doesn't matter. Do what you want. I don't care.
You could just make dumb fart noises now for all it matters.
Yeah.
Orange stop dying.
Preferably don't scream.
I mean,
into your
fine.
Microphone though. Shelly, why is your mic so loud?
What?
It sounds like
I just turned them down a bit.
Is this
Yeah, I'll turn
basketball?
it on too.
Well, it's because my mic is right next to my mouth because you guys want me to use the internal mic.
I mean, you can probably just turn them down.
I did just now. I just
Like something like sounds volume.
Dun. Yeah, the corpses are gone.
Yeah, they were eating. You have the.
No.
Okay. Nope. Still going.
Gap.
Okay. Right here. Yep.
Yes, I believe we can.
It's gamer time.
yeah, we got past the funny Erica face. Yeah, the...
What kind of
Thanks
gamer
for
are
joining
you?
the stream, everybody.
Hey, orangey boy.
Let me just go ahead and I will double save really quickly just to make absolutely sure.
Double save.
Why don't you rotate yourself? Never mind.
Hmm.
Father, it's Natsuhi. Good morning.
Khan's incapacitated, so well, not incapacitated, but she can't voice right now. So AC.
Oh fuck! There's still food in my mouth.
My voice is actually fine and dandy right now.
Oh, then yeah, go ahead.
I'll go.
Go ahead.
Spared you, AC.
Thank you.
Orange.
Orange, don't do that shit. That's horrible.
I was opening the bottle.
Now I have server muted him.
Yo.
Well, there you go. Problem solved. The muting equality system has fixed itself.
I guess this is Orange's last
Read.
draw.
Let's read.
Imagine drinking water out of a straw.
I'm about to fucking end this room if we don't let people say their goddamn lines. Go.
There's no way he'll wake up if you do it like that! Father, it's Ava! Please wake up! It's an emergency!
Ava pushed Natsuhi aside and knocked repeatedly with all of her strength.
Walk it down. You're being too boisterous.
Is now really the time to be saying something like that?
So he isn't picking up the phone, and he isn't responding to knocking either? That's troublesome.
It might be a bad mood again. Gunzo-san sometimes considers even the slightest change to be an omen. And he gets into a bad mood for reasons only he can understand.
Shelly. Well, that was louder than I
Excuse me. Oh, ho. Yes, that's true. This isn't something that started today.
Is that how badly grandfather wants to shut himself away in the study?
Yes. It's not uncommon for him to stay in his study for more than a month at a time.
Don't tell anyone, but even though I work here, I sometimes forget that the master even lives here.
Goda! That's not the sort of thing a servant should be saying!
My apologies, madam. I am truly sorry.
Anyway, isn't it bad that we can't get into contact with him? In the worst case, Father might not even know it's been a crime, right?
Well, I wonder.
Keenly noticing that people were starting to doubt Kinzo's existence, Cannon mumbled those words.
Who was the last person to meet Father? And when?
It was me. Last night. Up until the time of the uproar from when Battler found the gold, I was in Father's study, giving the daily report.
So around 11 o'clock last night.
No way around it. Let's open it up.
What did you say? This is the family head's precious study and research room. No one is permitted to trespass without his permission, okay?
I think if you have permission, it stops being trespassing.
Who here holds the highest rank? Me, right? I am the third in rank of the Ushiramiya family. If we open it and get scolded by father, that's also the responsibility of the highest rank. Because of the urgent circumstances, we'll open this door. You have a key, right? Open it.
I believe you know this, but the study door cannot be opened with the master key.
The master has recently taken away Kenji-sama's keys as well. So he has both keys on his person. Therefore,
Both of the keys that can open the door are inside the study.
A closed room. Good. It's starting to get a little interesting. It'd be pretty neat if Kinzo-san was lying on a bed in there with his throat cut.
You're being far too indiscreet, Erika-san. And as you know, this door can only be opened by the keys that father has. This means anyone, even a murderer, would find it impossible to even touch father from outside the room. So father must be okay.
Still, that doesn't mean we shouldn't worry about confirming his safety. Are you really so unconcerned with the safety of the father you respect so much?
That isn't...
The atmosphere, which had been so agitated a second ago, suddenly went cold, and an eerie feeling filled the room and everyone stared at Natsuhi. They can understand why Natsuhi would protect the study under normal circumstances. People knew that she probably didn't want to disturb the research of Kinzo, a man she certainly respected, and she was therefore trying to keep the unpleasant relatives away. However, this was an extraordinary situation. A murder had occurred. Natsuhi's persistence in keeping things quiet for Kinzo even in a situation like this was hard to understand using common sense.
There's a good chance the crime occurring on the island will turn out to be a plotline murder mimicking the epitaph. It's probably a good idea to assume that the crimes will continue. If you view those as plotline murders, then it will keep going until a total of 13 lives are taken. Do you have any concept of how many victims that would be?
Wait a sec. How many people do you think there are on this island? Wouldn't that be almost everyone?
No, you've got it all wrong. As far as I know, the mystery novel with the most dead people in a serial murder was And Then There Were None by Agatha Christie, which had 10 deaths. In the realm of Japanese mysteries, it's probably the Tokyo Zodiac Murders by Shimada Soji, though there were less than 10 deaths in that one. Did you know? If 13 people die, as it seems they will, it'll lead to the most infamous and famous development in the history of the mystery genre. The completion of a 13-person serial murder case. Right? If everyone on this island is killed, then they make it a historical achievement in the world of serial murder mysteries, with even more deaths than the longest murder mystery in the world, and the longest one in Japan put together. Don't you see?
Work the shaft.
Hey, didn't you know, everyone? The culprit in this crime is giving us an incredible challenge, one that might even surpass all the mysteries throughout the world and throughout history. Of course everyone realized that long ago, right? If you like mystery, Christie's a must-read. If you're Japanese, then it's only natural that you've read Shimada Soji's works all the way through. Are you sure you've been reading enough, everyone?
It's useless.
Huh?
Looks like you haven't read enough yourself.
Did I say something wrong?
Erika, who'd been chatting away happily all by herself up until a second ago, changed her expression into a displeased glare in an instant. What you were saying about the Japanese mystery genre. Sakaguchi Ango's non-serial murders beats the Zodiac murders.
The number of people was the same in both, right?
I'd say for the record, but non-serial murders was first published in 1947. The Zodiac murders was in 1981. If you know so much about it, shouldn't you have mentioned non-serial murders first?
That's true.
Erica glared at Battler with an expression that couldn't be fully described with the word shock. And her arms shook as she stood there, lost for words.
That's so totally lame. Well, that's understandable. The crimes in Zodiac took place in 1936, right? That must have gotten her confused, right?
Thunder Delta kept on hitting the table, overcome with laughter. Even Burncastle had been struck with humiliation, snorted and started pounding the table, laughing in the same way.
This is just too good. Not bad, Peace Battler. So much glass!
I'm impressed. You must read a lot, don't you, Battler-san?
Books? I didn't read those at all.
You liar. You're clearly quite well read.
I'd never say something as arrogant as I'm a book reader. I'm a book reader isn't something a person who doesn't even read 100 books per year should say so lightly. Don't you think?
You mere piece.
Oh, fuck, I'm going on my mouth.
Donut.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Don't choke on it.
No, I'm doing the line. Anyway, we can't let such a massive crime take place.
That's right. At any rate, checking Dad's safety is our first priority right now. But what should we do? He's ignoring the phone and our knocks. The keys are inside. There's nothing we can do. Are we supposed to knock this thick door down? That won't be easy.
Father might have been attacked by...
Bone, cut up with the bell.
Yeah, sorry.
Please do. Father might have been attacked by someone and severely injured, and maybe he's waiting for someone to help him. This is an extraordinary circumstance. Even Father will understand. And if he has any rebukes, I'll be happy to take responsibility myself.
Breaking down a door would be quite rude.
What about the window?
That's right. The window. Is there a ladder somewhere that can reach as high as the 3rd floor? You should be able to get inside by smashing the window.
Erica finally came back to her senses, and her tone regained its decisive edge.
The 3rd-story window? That would be dangerous.
We don't know unless we try. Is there a ladder around here that can reach up 3 floors?
I don't think the ladder in the gardening shed is long enough.
Oh, the one with the ladder in the boiler room! I remember using it earlier when a bird made a nest on top of the rain gutter! Yes, they'll be able to reach without a doubt.
He must have been extremely happy about thinking of something Cannon hadn't. Looking pleased with himself, as though he had won something, he glanced around at everyone. Probably hoping the Nazi would praise him, but she quickly avoided his gaze. Of course, Cannon had known about the ladder too. However, in order to protect Kinzo's secret, he had intentionally pretended to have forgotten.
But with this ladder and the strong winds, isn't this just too dangerous?
I agree. Oh man, what was that one? I agree. If someone gets seriously injured, we can't go to the hospital until tomorrow, right?
The wind might not be as strong in the courtyard. I think it's at least worth it to take a look.
But truly, going up to the third floor would be quite a challenge. Back when we had to clean up the bird's nest, most servants shrank away from the danger. And that's when I, your humble servant, took on a major role in spectacularly handling the situation.
Right then, there's no problem. Let's just get a ladder that'll reach.
And it looks like someone here already has experience with this sort of thing.
Huh? The quarry was surrounded on all four sides, so while the rain was still fierce, the winds had almost no effect. Fortunately, the ceiling jutted out a bit, so that even the rain wouldn't be so bad.
Okay. Let's try standing the ladder up. Be careful. Don't hurt yourself.
Sure. Rudolph and Badler carried the special ladder, which was designed for work on high places. 2 umbrellas followed the pair. Shannon and Cannon were holding umbrellas and sheltering them from the rain.
It doesn't matter if we get wet. Go back under the eaves. Go to Sam. Even if there's something wrong with your knees, you can at least hold the ladder down, right?
Yes. If only I had enough I'm not gonna say hyaluronan. Going up a ladder would be no problem at all. I am truly sorry. Goda clambered forward to replace Shannon and Cannon. As she watched this, Kyria giggled. Dad, hammer.
Cool. Badler, you love athletics, don't you?
Not as much as I love my cool handyman dad.
You little brat. Sheesh. I guess I gotta show this son of mine my good side every once in a while. Badler, go to Sam. Hold that ladder down tight. And make sure you're looking up, okay? My hand might slip and you'll have this hammer tumbling down on you.
Nah, don't worry. I'll catch it and smash your head in. After putting the hammer they'd got in to smash the window and in his pocket and cracking his knuckles, Rudolph started climbing.
Rusma, be okay?
He'll be fine. That guy could totally be in an action movie. Plus, sports are one of his strong points.
Oh my god.
I had a bit in Nusa 2 of Umineko that's almost of the same quality as that.
Climbing in your window.
Oh man!
How'd you like my husband? Because Rudolph is getting everybody.
Look.
I wish you'd tell me how my skating prowess is supposed to help me climb ladders. I'm an Ina Bauer, always in a big pinch or whatever.
He'll manage to avoid dying, so there's nothing to worry about.
Wait, why is that green
To
text?
avoid drowning.
Because there
I was
is
about to ask.
remember that word you could not pronounce earlier.
It's green.
Oh, Ina Bauer
never
Oro,
dies.
Orowa Jakabawa. Yeah.
Ah!
Well, at least it's not Game Boy Tano.
Oh my god.
I remember.
I'll never die.
He'll manage to. Oh. More importantly, we're really lucky the shutters aren't down. Isn't it a common practice to lower the shutters to Father's study for the night?
Yes. Whenever we are permitted to enter and exit, we open and close them in the morning and at night.
However, I think it was decided that such a thing was unnecessary for the time being, so it was left open.
I see. Father will be pretty mad, won't he? If his son smashes his window and comes in while he's sleeping.
That's probably...
It'd be wonderful if we didn't have to smash the window, don't you think?
Both Shannon and Cannon knew that Kenzo no longer existed in this world. Not so he had ordered them to interfere as much as possible. But now that it had come to this, there was nothing the two of them could do. They tried to interfere by pretending they didn't know about a ladder that could reach up to the third-floor window, but... because of Goda's showing off, that ladder had been found. Oh, almost choked myself. Rudolph carefully climbed the ladder. He would reach the third-floor window very soon. As he did this, Shannon and Cannon stared at him, looking uneasy. After this, what will happen next? To the two of them, to Madam, to the Master. Very soon, Rudolph will reach the window.
So it's already time to end with this room's barrier.
The soldiers are scaling the ramparts, trying to reach the other side. The moment of surrender is truly right before our eyes. I am prepared to be erased at any moment.
We can't let that happen. You have to remain alive, even if it means crawling through the dirt. I'll think about what to do next. For now, escape from this place.
You may say that, but what can I do? Even the rest are still camped out in the hallway, and Rudolph is approaching the window. There's no retreat through the door or the window.
In that case, perhaps you could hide under the bed.
So I've not even been the chance to wait for the enemy's arrival in my throne.
You might have done that while you were still alive. But now you're a ghost that Natsuhi and I brought to life. Ghosts should do what ghosts do best and hide under the bed or in a closet.
Will something like that really deceive their eyes? My.
Don't worry. I'll be with you. I'll let you escape at the last moment.
It'll be dangerous for you. Even though you're a demon, you won't get away unscathed if you're burned by the magic-resisting toxin.
Don't worry about that. Anyway, anything's to get at least that bad before my heart starts pumping.
How comforting. I understand. I'll hide under the bed.
Milady. Rudolph will reach the window very soon.
Gap. I've changed my mind. I'll guard this place. Hide yourself along with Ronobe.
What did you say? You've got it backwards. Didn't we plan to leave this place to Gap and have you retreat, milady?
Though Ronave should have been used to her fickleness, this surprised him for the first time in a long while. Vieta may have been a powerful queen, but she was also an important piece that mustn't be exposed to danger. Though she was strong, running to the front lines without any plan would not be a praiseworthy move. What kind of whim is this?
It's just a whim. I'm not so fond of boredom that I could simply sip tea while leaving everything to you. I've just gotten the urge to jump in the struggle right away.
I understand. It is your game, after all. You can do as you wish. I'll carefully watch over the corpses of the first Twilight that I erased. Make sure nothing happens to them.
Sorry for stealing your time to shine.
Is this really acceptable, my lady?
You should know I like showing off even more than my 3 meals a day. I've done nothing but gobble up Gap's turn. Don't worry about it.
Hey, Kai, could you, can you turn down the anime in the background of your microphone?
It's not anime, it's a Disney cartoon.
That doesn't change.
That's beside the point.
Sorry, 1 second.
Oh, still, I didn't even notice it.
Alright, god damn.
Dang good.
Orange's ears are just really good when it comes to people making background
He
noise.
just has special ears.
I've become incredibly attuned to people making way too much noise.
Alright, Dolores.
Ronave and Gap both fell silent. The two of them had already noticed. Lady Burncastle, who used Frodo Erica as a piece, was a terrifying opponent. This fight would probably be terrifying as well. Beato couldn't expose Gap, her friend, to this danger. Beato bluffed and said this wasn't the case. But Ronave and Gap had already figured it out. Therefore, after confirming Beato's resolve one last time and seeing that she was completely firm in her decision, they nodded in silence and accepted it. I understand. I'll leave this place to you. I'm rooting for you. Take care.
Yeah. Please watch over my efforts to your heart's content.
Lady Burncastle will probably start trying to expose Kinto's absence with a closed room argument. Fights in closed rooms are normally Gap's area of expertise. Queens are commandos because they're best at fighting in wide open areas. This won't be an easy fight.
I'm fully aware of that. I currently serve Natsuhi. Watching Natsuhi's danger from above and letting Gap take care of it doesn't make sense to me.
Understood. I wish you luck in battle.
Be careful. If it becomes a complete closed room, we'll be able to come in and help you.
I'll laugh at them a bit, and if things get bad, I'll just grab Kinzo and run for it. It's easy. With the door and the window, the past and the future to choose from, there are plenty of places to run. Of course, I won't let this become a closed room.
Though you won't see us, we'll be cheering you on from very close by. Good luck.
Sure.
Gap and Ronave became a swarm of gold butterflies and disappeared. And Kinzo melted into the darkness beneath the bed. And Beata also became a swarm of gold butterflies and melted away inside the study. After that, all figures and signs of life had disappeared from the study, and it once more regained a silence as though no one had been there from the beginning. Then, Rudolph's outline slipped into view from beyond the window curtain.
God fucking damn
Dad!
Dad!
If you're there, answer. Dad! Dad!
Oh, that was amazing.
As he slid and yelled, he hit the window. His foothold was so uncertain that just hitting the window felt life-threatening. But of course, this was Rudolph, the show-off. Playing that he couldn't do anything stupid with so many people watching from below, he suppressed the fear from being so high up, and boldly knocked on the window. Come on, grandfather. Can't you hear?
I wonder. I hope he doesn't drop the hammer.
How many seconds have passed?
It's been 30 seconds since he knocked on the window.
There's a hammer to fall.
Now, you'll really smash it? The master will be very mad.
Well, someone was kind enough to brag about accepting that anger is her duty, so there's no need to worry. Rudolph's-san. That's enough. Do it.
Sure. Damn it, Dad, you better not complain after I smash it.
I really want the hammer to just kind of... I want his hammer, his like fucking sprite to just like shift into him.
Just like
with one
appear to have a hammer. Like it just appears out of hammer space.
Okay, now they took the easy approach. He hit it several times, and eventually a fist-sized hole opened up in the glass. Because of his unstable footing, this took a lot of effort. Using the end of his hammer skillfully, he brushed aside the now fractured bits of glass and opened the hole further, stuck his hand through it, and unlocked the window. After a hard struggle, Rudolph somehow managed to open the window, and his body slipped in through the study. After that, he flopped onto the floor, using his entire body to enjoy the relief of having a ground under him.
Dad, it's Rudolph. Answer me.
It wouldn't be an exaggeration to say that Kinzo's study was a small villa he had created inside the mansion. A study, a library, a place to sleep, and a bathroom and washroom. It was divided into multiple rooms. That's right, with all this at your fingertips, it wouldn't be hard to spend your day in the study without leaving at all. The bed was empty. There were marks on it that made it seem as though someone had slipped out, but there was no one in sight.
This happens a lot in ninja movies. Someone finds the bed is still warm, so the occupant couldn't have gone far.
Rudolph tried placing in his hand on the bed, but he couldn't feel any heat at all. Not only was there no heat, it felt completely ice cold. And the bed wasn't the only thing that was ice cold. The air inside the room, and even the presence around it, if that's the right word for it, even that felt ice cold. To Rudolph, it felt as though Kinzo had slipped out of his room a long time ago.
However, it's been well cleaned. It has signs of having been lived in.
Wrinkles in the bed. A slight angle of the chair. Here and there were many marks that would doubtlessly have been cleaned or fixed up if someone had come in to make the beds.
As far as I can tell off the top of my head, Dad must have slipped out of bed several hours ago at the latest.
That would be the same general time period as the brutal murder case.
Guess we can't be sure Kinzo's absence and the crime are completely unrelated.
For the time being, he leaned out the window, and told Kiryu and the others in the courtyard to come back up, since he was going to unlock the door. Then he pushed the button on the study desk to release the door's auto-lock. There was a heavy clunking sound, and Natsuhi and the rest dashed in immediately.
Father, good morning.
Sorry, but it isn't Dad. I'm the one who opened it.
Was Kinzo-san there?
Nope. Looks like someone slipped out of the bed, but you can't tell when it happened.
And Natsuhi Nei-san was the last person to meet him, right? At around 11 p.m. last night. I wonder if that means he slipped out of the study sometime after that and went somewhere else.
That's... Well, we must consider father's fickle nature. It wasn't at all uncommon for him to suddenly wake in the middle of the night claiming to have had a revelation in a dream. And walk around the mansion. Isn't that right, Dr. Nanjo?
Oh, sorry.
Isn't that right?
True. This has happened before. Anyway, he is a fickle person. Right, Kumasawa-san?
Ooh.
That was terrible. I'm sorry. That's true. Perhaps he had a strange dream and slipped out of bed. That isn't uncommon at all, yes. Sorry about futzing the line.
Then where did he slip off to? Does this mean there's a good chance father had been caught up in a crime, in this crime?
See? We should have checked to make sure father was safe from the beginning, right? We can't be sure he isn't in this room. Maybe the culprit tied him up and locked him in the closet or something like that.
Good point. Let's search.
It is the family's head's precious study. You mustn't touch things without reason.
Ah, yeah. That's right. Something to tell you, culprit-san.
When Natsu heard this said right in front of her, her heart froze. But Erika had only just happened to be standing right in front of Natsuhi when she said it. She had directed her words to the room at large. She hadn't been speaking to Natsuhi in particular. Natsuhi turned her back on Ava, trying to pretend her faltering expression from being noticed. Prevent her faltering expression from being noticed.
I have a photographic memory. Should I alter the crime scene by hiding some evidence, I'll know right away. Please don't slip up here and disappoint me. Any mystery where the whodunit is solved by a culprit slip-up or misspeak is only third-rate, don't you think?
I don't understand what you're saying, but try to refrain from incautious remarks. Father, are you there? Please answer me.
Natsui started walking around and calling out in a loud voice, refusing to let Erika sing anymore. There was a knock. Kiri and the others who had gone down to the courtyard had returned.
So father isn't here after all.
He might be tied up and shut away somewhere around here. We were just searching for him.
I'm surprised he managed to shut himself away in a place like this for all that time.
Give it up, Nason. can't change anything now.
I wonder what Madame plans to do.
Get paid back for all the lies she told up until now.
Excuse me. Fuck it. I can't do the word. Let's leave fate in God's hands. I don't know how to do that in the old lady voice.
You just make like a shh sound.
Okay.
Yes.
Many people clambered around Kinzo's vast study, looking here and there. The closet and in the bathtub, even in the refrigerator under the study desk, they looked everywhere, almost as though they were in a game of hide-and-seek. However, not only were they unable to spot Kinzo, they couldn't even find a single suspicious mark.
It seems clear that Father isn't here. That's enough. Please don't disturb Father's precious study any farther.
That's right. That's right. There's nothing the Master hates more than things moved around without his permission.
Father's nowhere to be found. Maybe he really was caught up in the crime?
Though we can't be sure of that.
Natsuhi averted her gaze once more.
It's okay, Natsuhi.
We truly do have our backs against the wall. On the off chance that someone entered the study, I had planned to trick him by saying he'd probably gone for a walk somewhere. However...
No one would believe that I'd get dressed up for a casual midnight stroll at a mansion where a murder has occurred and many people have been killed. Though I wouldn't put it past myself to do such a thing.
Come now, Kinzo. Be a good boy and hide under the bed. It's okay, Natsuhi. You may remain calm. It's possible to prove that someone exists, but you can't prove that someone doesn't exist. In other words, the human world is one which, regardless of whether something exists or not, you can make it so that they exist. And the shadows that can make such things exist are themselves the world of us witches, the world of demons.
You mean devil's proof?
Yes. So don't worry. The power of demons will most certainly protect you.
If it could protect the honor of Father and my husband, I wouldn't mind sacrificing this body of mine to demons.
Your resolve is good. Don't be anxious. I most certainly will not let Kinzo be killed.
At that time, a dry sound suddenly rang out twice. Erica had clapped her hands, seeking everyone's attention. Though such an action should have been above a guest's place, for some reason it already felt like a natural right of hers. After all, she was the detective.
I think that's enough. Ishimi Kinzo-san is nowhere to be found in his study.
Yeah, we've searched everywhere he could have been hiding. Dad's nowhere to be seen.
Furthermore, we found nothing that looks suspicious.
Yes, we didn't find anything at all.
Erica said it again. They hadn't been able to discover anything.
In that case, we mustn't loiter around this room. Do you understand how angry Father would be if he learned that so many people were looking through his study? Eva-san, you said you were prepared to take responsibility, didn't you? Are you prepared for him to break off relations with you for the rest of your life?
That's for Father to decide! Not you!
Silence, please. I would lay out the situation. At 11 o'clock last night, the last person to meet Kinzo-san in the room was Natsuhi-san, right? Can anyone confirm that?
Confirm?
Yes, that's right. After all, the only one who claims that Natsuhi-san really did stop by here at 11 o'clock last night was Natsuhi-san herself. There wouldn't be a problem if Kinzo-san confirmed that Natsuhi-san really did come here last night. But that vital witness isn't here.
So you're saying alibis are the foundation of a mystery?
Yes, that's right. Alibis are important. Of course, they're also useless when it comes to the actual theory making. But it's common courtesy to poke around those boxes.
You didn't ask for alibis regarding last night's murders, but you'll do it for Grandpa's disappearance, huh? You really are a fickle person.
Oh, don't worry. Have no fear that I will fully examine everyone's alibis. Regarding the murders of the first Twilight later. So, can anyone confirm that Natsuhi-san visited here at 11 o'clock? If no one can, we'll be forced to doubt whether Natsuhi-san really was the last person to spot him.
Are you saying that I can't be trusted?
No, it's actually the opposite. I hope that you aren't the culprit. After all, that'd make this really boring. Only the worst, third-rate mysteries have the most suspicious person as the culprit.
Natsuhi-san is suspicious. Wait a second. How can you say that?
He's right! Calling Madam suspicious is the height of discourtesy!
Be quiet! Dr. Nanjo, Gara? Thank you. Erika-san? Do you have some sort of proof to justify such rude outburst?
Yes. Though it's so simple that it annoys me. Sorry to bother you with this TV drama quality evidence, but if you don't mind.
Why don't you just let us hear it? Balor glared at her, a cold expression rose to Erica's face for an instant. But it was only for an instant. After smiling peacefully and gazing around at everyone, she started to talk. She looked like the main character in a play, who had come out and onto the stage, bathed in the spotlight.
It's about this morning. Please remember that the time after the murders occurred, during the big uproar that followed, we wanted to tell Kinzo-san about the crime, but he wouldn't come out no matter how many times we called him on the telephone. Remember that time.
Peter, remember the time?
Sorry, push the tongue one. Anyway, isn't it bad that we can get in contact with him? Can't get in contact. In the worst case, Father might not even know that there's been a crime, right?
Well, I wonder.
Keenly noticing that people were starting to doubt Kinzo's existence, Cannon mumbled those words.
Who was the last person to meet Father? And when?
It was me. Last night, up until the time of the opera from when Battler found the gold, I was in Father's study, giving the daily report.
It's around 11 o'clock last night.
Erica chuckled significantly.
And what's your point? Ridiculous. ridiculous.
I think Kiryu-san probably did that intentionally. Am I right?
What do you mean by that?
I hope someone might fall for it.
I see. Thanks, Kiryu-san. Actually, I was planning to say the same thing if you didn't.
Is who saw the master last really that important?
Yes. If we take the circumstances into account, then in response to the question, who met him last, it was very odd for Natsuki-san to so instantly answer me. Oopsies.
Why? Man told the truth without hiding anything!
Be quiet! Why do you think it was odd?
Why are you so sure that no one else met Kindo-san after 11 o'clock?
Well, that's because I watched as he went to bed. It's only natural to assume he would then sleep until morning. And not meet with anyone.
Considering the circumstances, it was easy to suspect the last person to spot him of having some kind of involvement with the case. A normal person in Natsuki-san's position wouldn't say, I was the last person to meet him. I met him at 11 o'clock. Right, Kirie-san?
Yes, that's correct. A normal person would say, I met him at 11 o'clock. However, I'm not sure if I was the last person to meet him. Something like that.
Good. Claiming to be the last witness is usually quite difficult. That is, unless you know something that makes you so sure that there was no other witnesses after you. In the third mysteries, the last one to spot the victim is often the culprit. They killed the victim themselves, so they knew that no one else could have met the culprit later on. It's how the argument goes.
What? Oh. Couldn't there be nothing more than a minor misspoken word? It's not important enough to be picked up out of the blue and focused on.
Mongo is getting lost.
Yes. That's nothing more than nitpicking. It's a little too early to suspect Nazi-san because of a little slip of the tongue like that.
Furthermore, you said that you need a reason to be sure that no one else spotted the master. But of course she has such a reason! She left the room after seeing the master go to bed! Following common sense, it's perfectly natural to assume that he probably wouldn't meet anyone else until the next morning.
No. That isn't natural at all. After all, Natsuhi-san, Dr. Nanjo, and Kuwasawa-san all made this claim a short while ago. Please, try to remember.
And Natsuhime-san was the last person to meet him, right? At around 11 p.m. last night. I wonder if that means he slipped out of the study sometime after that and went somewhere else.
That's... Well, we must consider father's fickle nature. It wasn't at all uncommon for him to suddenly wake in the middle of the night, claim to have had a revelation in a dream, and walk around the mansion. Isn't that right, Dr. Nanjo?
True. This has happened before. Anyway, he is a fickle person. Right, Kumasawa-san.
Oh. That's true. Perhaps he had a strange dream and slipped out of bed. This is that isn't uncommon at all. Yes.
Yeah. We definitely do have testimony. That wasn't all uncommon for grandfather to suddenly slip out of bed late at night.
Good. Your memory is not bad, Battler-san. In other words, it's common knowledge to those in the Ashurmia head house, Natsuhi-san included, that Kenzo-san might wake up in the middle of any given night on a whim and wander around. On top of that, they are aware that this happens quite often.
Isn't that odd? If you knew Father often wanders around at night, there's no way you could be certain he'd stay in his bed until morning. Right?
It really is like a third-rate mystery. You know that thing they do in the last 5 minutes? Where the culprit asks, "When did you first realize it was me?" And the detective answers,
Seriously. That's why I feel so let down. If it turns out Natsuhi-san really is the culprit, this will be worse than a TV mystery. That's why I want to clear away the suspicions surrounding Natsuhi-san as soon as I can. I want to make sure this mystery isn't thoroughly before I do anything else.
There's no need to get anxious, Natsuhi. This is a classic word game used by detective wannabes. What exactly is her point? How could she possibly corner you with this accusation alone? In the court of hell, all of the demon jurors will declare you innocent. So calm down and don't get flustered.
Maybe it's true that Anansi looks suspicious when you say it like that. Still, it sounds like you're just nitpicking to me.
But it is suspicious. Isn't this more than enough reason to suspect that Natsuhi-ne-san's hiding something?
All the unfair accusations. And how cowardly of you, Ava-san. You're the sole person who can confirm that I really was here at 11, aren't you?
Is this true, Ava-san?
Oh, did that happen? I'm sorry. At the time, I was losing my head because of the recently discovered gold. So I forgot about all bumping into Natsuhi-ne-san until just a second ago. Sorry.
So, Ava-san, you can confirm that Natsuhi-san was a witness at 11 o'clock.
Yes, unfortunately. I'm able to acknowledge that one part of Natsuhi-ne-san's story. But only that she came out of this room.
Are you blind?
Oh, I'll tell you. In fact, I've wanted to say this for a long time now. Prep yourself. I do realize it's improper to bring this up in the middle of such a tragic murder case. But the timing now is just too perfect. You know what I'm talking about, don't you? Natsuhi-ne-san?
Servants gulped and held their breaths. They hadn't been able to hide it after all. In the middle of this heavy silence, Ava fingered her trump card, and Natsuhi tried to act calm. Both space and time grew heavy as lead, and swallowed up everything.
Just when did Kinzo-san disappear, I wonder?
Erica's words, spoken almost casually, tore that atmosphere to pieces like shattering glass.
Simply put, we haven't met him once at the family conferences this year or last.
That's right! I've suspected it since last year. Seeing as how my son and the others have just been killed, this may not be the time or place to press you on this. But there's a chance that this has something to do with the crime, so pressing you is just what we'll do.
It's possible that you have a motive for hiding Father's death. You have reason to suspect that you're embezzling his assets.
If Father were to die, an investigation would be conducted for the distribution of the assets and your embezzlement would be exposed. That's why you hid the fact that Father's already dead.
I see. There's more than enough for the why done it. This keeps getting more and more third rate. Ah, boring.
I don't know what you're talking about. You say I'm hiding the head's death? I most certainly won't forgive such a reckless accusation.
That's right! In addition to Madam, the other servants take care of the master on a daily basis, and they see him all the time! Genji-san, Shannon-san, and Kanen-kun! Even Dr. Nanjo and Kumasawa-san meet with him often. Perhaps because he doesn't trust me, I haven't seen him even once since last year, but
Be quiet, Koda!
My apologies!
Aren't all the witnesses, beside Natsuhi-san, servants employed by her? So, you used money to make them follow your story. Oh man, this is really third rate. Pitiful, pitiful. I'm disappointed, Natsuhi-san. So I guess I'll have to finish this now.
Finish what?
Ushiramiya Kinzo-san.
What is it? Uninvited guest?
You don't exist, do you? You're a ghost whose death was concealed by those humans who didn't want it known because of the inheritance problem. This is supposed to quickly pass on to the next world. Even though this is the first time we've met, I have to give you the proper greeting. My apologies. Good day. Pleased to meet you. And goodbye!
So close to Erica's face that you could barely have wedged a sheet of paper between them, Beato's pipe came to a sudden stop.
And a good day to you, too. I'm the Ushiramiya family alchemist, Beatrice the Golden. I'll be your opponent in this fight from here on out.
Glad to meet you. I'm the detective of this game, Furudo Erica. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. And now, goodbye.
So, you're Lady Berncastell's next piece after Angie. I'm afraid I didn't get to fight with her to my satisfaction in the end. I'm glad I'll be able to lock horns with you this time. Lady Berncastell's piece.
My master is almighty, omnipotent. A fool like you couldn't even begin to compare with her. I accept your challenge.
You really are calm. Even though a witch has appeared before you and is about to fight with magic and fantasy. If you were a battler, you'd be lying on the ground screaming that this can't possibly be a mystery anymore.
Yeah, even in the mystery genre, parallel universes like this have gotten popular lately. You know about pure reasoning space and all that.
Ayatsuji Yukito doesn't make his debut until next year.
You sure are picky for a witch.
You think you're on the same level as a witch? Don't be so full of yourself, you mere human.
When Beato snapped her fingers, something bounced around the room at terrifying speeds. It was a stake of the witch. A witch's wedge that contained the power of the blue truth within it. Of course, a mere human like Erica couldn't follow that terrible speed with her eyes. Erica understood this, so she didn't attempt to look every which way, stupidly trying to spot it. Dashi.
Eat this! Yeah. Oh, did that not pick up? Fuck. Okay.
No, it picked up, you forgot the fool.
Oh. Eat this fool.
With a terrible sound, Lucifer's blue stake buried itself right into Erica's collarbone. It pierced all the way up through her back. Lucifer spun and rebounded, landing in front of Beato, and vanished with a shrill laugh. Erica wasn't blown back, but she had been run through by the blue wedge.
So this is that so-called blue truth. Well then, let me hear your views.
You can't eliminate the possibility that Natsuhi met with Kinzo at 11 p.m. In the 6+ hours between then and the time you all barged into the study, Kinzo had every opportunity to escape. Because of this, you can't state decisively that Kinzo doesn't exist.
Decisively.
He announced that with an expression worthy of her title as a witch. Erica was silent. Was she too shocked to speak? There's no anguish in her expression. She was just quietly listening to Beato's blue truths. No, judging by her disdainful expression, probably more appropriate to say that Beato's words went in one ear and right out the other.
Good. Let's start with the classic moves. By the way, this thing really is stuck good. I can't take it out.
Tried pulling from the front and the back of the blue wedge that pierced her, but it didn't budge an inch. However, her indifferent, relaxed expression didn't budge an inch either.
You can't take it out. The blue truth can only be defeated by the red truth. For one such as yourself, a guest who came to this island at most a day ago, there is no truth that can possibly be known. That means there exists no red that you can use. In other words, this is checkmate!
I see. So that's what kind of space this is. In that case, I'll need a piece suitable for fighting a witch. I am the detective. My role is to take on the human culprit. You are a witch. In this, there does not exist a fitting piece to use against witches and demons.
There does exist,
Let me introduce you. Miss Delanor, it looks like it's your turn.
Delanor?
Delanor?
I thought so. Shut the fuck. I was certain you'd bring that piece in sooner or later. The 10 witches with which to hunt witches. The Archbishop of Witch Hunting, Delanor.
There's no more fitting piece in a battle against demons. I have my double, Erica, and the greatest natural enemy of witches, Delanor. I've now taken control of the 7th rank with my 2 rooks. Let me show you, Lambda Delta. And you too, Beatrice. Now you'll see how useless your struggling is.
I don't know why, but this character design makes me laugh.
She's so cute!
She looks like a Syconia character.
The air shone brightly, and the piece Erica had guided there showed its form. That form resembled a clergy member perfectly suited for confronting an evil witch.
It's a pleasure to meet you. Delanor A. Knox is my name.
Even though this space was just like a bomb, just waiting to go off, she introduced herself in a neat and frank manner. Her out-of-place appearance, completely different from those of the demons and witches, felt blatantly odd and had a kind of severity to it.
This is the first time I've met you, but I've heard all the rumors. So, this doesn't truly feel like a first meeting.
The same goes for me, Miss Beatrice. The detailed materials Sein Jungfrau has on you are summarized in 600 pages. I always read such reports, so this does not feel like a first meeting to me either.
The Secretary of Hell could summarize those 600 pages into 6 letters.
Allow me to ask.
Danger.
A fitting summary. When I return, I will summarize the materials on you using only 2 more letters, out of respect.
Executed.
So I'm cute now. You're too polite, my guest.
Let us continue. Miss Beatrice. I, Eleanor, the head inquisitor of Hearsay, do humbly accept my role as your opponent.
Heresy.
My first move is over. If you can't remove the blue wedge from that Furudo Erica over there, then you might as well totter back up to heaven and get back to your usual boring job of stamping forms. Desk jockey.
Please do something about this wedge thing. Looks like Beatrice-san thinks that she's already achieved checkmate with this alone.
After making a show of tapping her fingers on the blue wedge that pierced her, Erica shrugged as though taunting Beatrice.
Beatrice.
It's okay. I'm just toying with her a bit. After all, if things get bad, I can grab Kinzo and run out of here whenever I want. I can leave this room at any time and go anywhere.
That is useless.
Oh?
Now that you've met up with me, this is your demise. Escape will not be permitted. None can escape.
True, we can't deny that it'd be possible for Father to suddenly wake up and go somewhere. But you know what? I can say for sure that such a thing couldn't have happened. You know why?
What I know. Are you trying to say you stood outside this door all night, watching to make sure the head didn't take a step outside?
Yes, someone was watching. This kid right here!
Please allow me to speak. Let it be known that entering or exiting through this door is impossible. The palace guards are ordered to blockade the study door.
Sploosh.
The door to heaven opened with a strong, unrelenting radiance like the sun's, announcing the arrival of Delanor's underlings. Those words were clad in the red truth and cut off the witch's method of escape.
Chester for 10 right here, yeah?
Mr. 45, right here. It has been some time, Great Lady Beatrice. We were dispatched in accordance with the Alliance Agreement, number 1516, and a request from the Great Court of Heaven. We apologize for the rudeness that is to follow.
We've run a precision blockade on the study door, yeah? I think it's best if you stay away from it, yeah?
Allow me to speak. I say again, from last night at 2300 hours until the present time, the study door was not opened even once.
What is that scrap of paper?
It's a completely ordinary receipt. But even so, this mere scrap of paper proves that you lied.
Last night when you came out of the study, Eva saw her chance and wedged the receipt into a crack of the study door.
Can we test it?
Huh? And it fell down, just now when Rudolph couldn't open up the door for us.
Know what that means? In other words, from 11 o'clock last night until now, Father couldn't possibly have opened this door.
What did you say?
Rudolph. The window was locked, right?
Yeah, that's why I smashed the glass.
And the windows are all locked as well. They're built so that you can't lock them from the outside.
Allow me to speak. Now that the windows were all locked, Palace guards blockade all the windows.
By the name of Eiserne Jungfrau, I give the palace guards permission to make use of forbidden weapons.
Jelly.
Understood. Wait, no. Understood. Entire force, permission granted for use of forbidden weapon, red warhead. Beginning transmitting activation code.
Yeah. The password isn't working yet.
Pretend, turn Catholic off and try again.
Chester Squad. Precision blockade by sturdy door and all windows complete. Yeah, I'm trying to get the voice down. We warn that the great lady Beatrice that if anything is caught passing through the physically, conceptually, or by any other method, we will shoot without warning.
Coming from Archangel Satellite 4. Homing format, Vedic model, conceptual guidance.
And on top of that, we've got red warhead here. Impossible to shoot down, impossible to avoid, impossible to survive when hit. It'd smash even Lady Beatrice into little pieces, yeah.
The Chester Squad had laid down a pinpoint blockade over the door and all the windows. Escape would no longer be permitted through any of these.
My. I should be doing the welcoming, but it seems I am the one being welcomed. I'm grateful for the courtesy call, and you've even brought the Chester sisters.
Allow me to inform you that your path of retreat have been cut off. Commander Lenore, let us remove the sin and purify.
You've done well. Miss Beatrice, I have had your paths of retreat terminated. You cannot leave through the door, nor can you leave through the windows. Therefore, escape will now be prohibited.
You think you shut me in with this alone?
The Inquisitor of Heresy in heaven and her subordinates surrounded the witch. The subordinates used a powerful barrier to cut off Beato's methods of escape. Demons tend to resist capture, and as a result, they sometimes escape. However, angels counter by blocking off passages of escape. allowing them to eradicate their targets without fail.
In other words, this study was a perfect closed room from the time Natsuhime-san claims she said goodnight.
To the time Rudolph opened the door got cut off.
To the time Rudolph opened the door.
There we go.
In that case, Father would have to be here. But there's not even a trace of him. Come on, what the hell's going on?
Yes.
I keep telling you to calm down. The thought that I, Beatrice, could be shut in just because the doors and windows are closed is simply laughable. Kinzo, I was just playing around, but it seems our guest has no such intentions. Let's withdraw before we lose our chance.
Yes! I will not regret losing this life of mine, but for Natsuhi's sake I cannot die yet!
Rita waved her pipe and the air was split vertically. Then a pitch-black gate appeared there and slowly opened. There's a warm portal, the same as the pitch-black holes that Gap used.
I believe this was written on my files. An elusive phantom can appear from anywhere and disappear to anywhere. As long as Kinzo has me, it will be impossible to capture him.
The pitch-black gate opened. The gate led from everywhere and to nowhere. Both Beato and Kinzo would be sent to a place where no one could catch them. A place no one could set foot in, much less chase after them.
This is the study of Rishimia family head. And it's also a room that Father helped design personally. Would it really be so strange if he had some way to get outside without using the door?
Yes, that's correct. There'd be nothing strange about the Master having a hidden door.
A hidden door? And where would that be?
It's hidden doors, so I don't know. There are several devices and hidden doors in this mansion that only Father knows of. No one has seen them directly, but everyone in this mansion knows about them vaguely, correct? Yes. Oh, wow.
Joshi seems to have gone rogue at the moment.
Oh, darn.
He might be back in a second. I don't know where he went.
What a timing.
I love these new characters so much.
Yeah, they're the best.
Mm-hmm.
You there? Oh, in the Twitch chat, he smelled on. Oh my god.
Discord's like, hey, I'm gonna fucking cut you off, bitch.
We have found our Joshi.
It's true that there have been always been rumors about a hidden passageway only the Master knows of.
It is true that Kinzo-san would probably like devices such as that.
Ho ho ho. And they are hidden doors, after all. No matter how many people, such as ourselves, might search, it's only natural that we won't find them.
I see. So it's a devil's proof. You're saying that we can't deny the possibility that a hidden door exists in this room.
That's nonsense! A farce! Even considering that your lie about concealing father's death is about to be revealed, how dare you!
That's right. Just where in this study would there be a hidden door? Try and prove that exists.
No proof is required. It is a devil's proof. The existence of a hidden door is impossible to discover or disprove. Therefore, no one can eliminate the possibility that Kinzo escaped from this study through a hidden door!
Oh. That's a fucking effect! Ooh,
We
Predator!
would not allow a hidden door to exist in this room.
Beato's blue wedge, which had been fired off as a farewell gift, was crushed with a flash of Delanor's longsword, and the pitch-black gate was crushed as well. And it wasn't just crushed visibly and physically. The war portal conceptualizing hidden doors would remain destroyed from that point onward.
Why can someone like you, who is neither the owner of the study nor the game master, use the red truth? And what was that? What did you mean you will not allow hidden doors to exist?
It's because this is the mystery genre. Noctis third, it is forbidden for hidden passages to exist. Hidden doors mustn't exist in the mystery genre. Sorry about that.
In this world, there are no other gods except our god, and no hidden doors exist. They must not exist, and we will not let them exist. They are blasphemy against our god.
Enough pride in you to shock a witch. It's so painful to watch that it's actually pleasurable.
Here it is, the 10 wedges to pierce witches. Just like usual, the kind of irrational argument I just love to hear.
What a fool. The devil's proof might have been vague enough to let you escape from everything until now. But now that you're up against Delanor, that move won't work anymore, Beatrice.
As I thought, you're no different from any witch after all. I'm disappointed.
Beato. Seems this is an opponent we'll be able to escape from easily after all.
Please, do entertain me, Beatrice-sama. You should at least serve some tea for your guests. It doesn't even matter if it's third rate. Come on, please use the blue truth, and tell me how Kinzo-san escaped from this closed room study.
Very well. Make sure you don't cry. It's possible that after slipping out the door, Kinzo noticed the trick with the receipt and correctly returned it to its original place.
That possibility has already been eliminated in red. After 11, the door to the study was not opened even once.
Kinzo might have been a marvelous mage and inventor. He might have invented a concoction to turn his body to mist and slipped out through the keyhole.
No such substance exists. It must not exist.
Maybe he invented a teleportation device. The possibility is impossible to eliminate because of the devil's proof.
Such a machine does not exist. I will not permit it to exist.
Oh, so you can examine every chemical substance in the world. You can rule out the existence of unknown scientific devices. There's no way you can. It's a devil's proof. You cannot rule out their existence!
Repeat. In the name of God, I will not permit such chemicals or devices to exist. From now until the end of time, I will not permit them to exist.
Not even in the future? Oh, so you think you can even deny possibilities in the future of the human race?
It's Noxus Fourth. It's written for unknown drugs or hard to understand scientific devices to be used.
Progression of humanity, as well as techniques and knowledge that might be obtainable in the future are decided upon by our God. And the denial of their existence has been proclaimed for eternity. Therefore, I will not allow such a technique to exist for all eternity. It is not permitted.
Beato and Delanor had supposedly just gone through a massive exchange of red and blue. However, not only did Delanor not take any damage, she also showed no signs of fatigue. Beato might have been a fearsome witch, but blood flowed through her veins, and she did breathe. She felt both pain and fatigue. But Lenore was like a doll made of marbles. She felt no fatigue, no pain, no hesitation. Even if Beato's sharp wedges had aimed right there for Delanor's eyes, she wouldn't have shot them. In fact, it's doubtful that she ever blinks in the first place.
Beatrice, hang in there.
Well, I'd already heard the rumors, but our compatibility really is awful. To think that dreams, hopes, even future possibilities would be forbidden. The pride of the gods is overwhelming. I'd expect no less from a witch hunt executioner. It seems we'll never be able to enjoy a drink together.
Even the strike that had made Battler surrender over and over had absolutely no effect on Delanor.
Well, I more or less knew that was coming, but to think I'd be repelled so easily.
Quite a formidable opponent.
Oh my, so even the great goldsmith has gotten old and decrepit. Hearing those words come out of your mouth is better to see two comets in the night sky.
I'm not decrepit. I'm already dead.
That's true. Sorry, but I'm not letting you die for just a bit longer.
Beato experienced something she'd only rarely felt during her entire life. It's probably what we'd call hardship. Beato quietly brushed aside Natsuhi's hand and tried to comfort her. And she regained her posture again, showing off her witch's pride as her continued readiness to fight.
Is that all? There was no need for me to come here. I am disappointed.
I'm not done yet. I was just testing a few moves just now. I merely wish to measure your abilities.
How foolish. Know your place, Golden Witch. Jelly.
Oh, typing?
Oh. Lady Beatrice.
Beato's expression became tense once again. No longer was there any trace of mischief. The mood changed.
The time for playing is over. Here I go. In that case, I shall acknowledge that Kinzo did not enter or leave the study. Why don't I accept your closed room?
Let it be known that Beatrice has changed her pattern of attack.
Beatrice, who had until then thoroughly resisted the idea that a closed room existed, did an about-face. She proclaimed that she accepted their proposition. Of course, this didn't mean she'd surrender. This is a new attack of Beatrice. Delanor noticed this and readied herself.
What's going on? Why Lady Beatrice acknowledge the closed room when she's trying to destroy it, yeah?
She's probably trying to claim that Kinza existed outside of this room. Confirmation that the Great Lady Beatrice's warp portal was reactivated.
Natsuhi claims to have talked with Kinzo in the study, but she never said that she spoke with him face to face. Therefore, if Kinzo was in a location other than the study, there is no contradiction as long as they held a conversation.
After bouncing at an erratic angle, the witch's stake pierced the top of Delanor's foot. Ellington.
You sure are slow. Top of the foot, all mine.
Natsuhi used the internal phone line in his study to speak with Kinzo, who is in another place. There's nothing strange about Kinzo, who hates the relatives, predicting that they would enter his study and leaving to go elsewhere. He might have gone to the hidden mansion Kuba Dorian.
Asmodeus' stake, which contained the power of Beato's blue truth and pierced Delanor's foot, changed into a blue edge.
Not bad. That makes sense, yeah.
Charlie.
Blue truth, valid. I'm trying to get the voice down. I'm not happy with any of these voices with her.
A cyclone of gold butterflies swept up with Beato at its center. The magical power of the once smashed black gate was once again refilled.
If I can manage to hold Delanor off here, I'll be able to warp Kinzo out of his study this time, all the way to Kuba Dorian.
Delanor moved clumsily, trying to pull the blue wedge out of her foot. But it didn't even budge. Of course, Beato didn't miss this chance. No witch would!
I've got more, so get ready. There's a chance that Kinzo mentioned by Natsuhi does not refer to the person himself. The Kinzo spoken of by Natsuhi might have been another name for this room. Kinzo had taken refuge in Kuba Dorian and it was impossible to contact. Perhaps Natsuhi called this room Father. And by contemplating inside of it, she felt as though she had received some sort of revelation from Kinzo.
Yours was me, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
We've stopped your movement. You've already lost.
Beelzebub's blue wedge pierced the base of Delanor's neck. Of course, even this didn't cause her to flinch, but her movements were restricted even further.
Interesting. Is that all?
You don't call it a full-course dinner if you stop at the soups and hors d'oeuvres. I'll hit you with the main dish and the dessert at once, so watch your stomach explode as you die! Even if, as you say, this is a locked room and impossible to escape from, you can't deny the possibility that he is still hiding in this room. I'm not talking about a hidden door. He might be under the bed or above the ceiling. He might be hiding in such a subtle blind spot that even a demon would not recognize it. Or it might be that Natsuhi ordered by Kenzo to act as his proxy. Considered herself both his representative and another Kenzo. In other words, it's possible that Natsuhi was also Kenzo! I've got plenty more. At 11 o'clock last night, Kenzo escaped out the window. Natsuhi watched him go, then locked the window. This doesn't lead to any problems. In fact, this might be the most beautiful blue truth yet! How's that? Delano A. Knox! There are many ways to escape from this closed room!
Know your foolishness in trying to oppose my master.
There's no need for you to argue back.
Let's lose and sleep for all eternity.
The Seven Sisters appeared from Beato's golden tornado one after another, piercing Glanor with blue wedges. 4 blue wedges were buried into her neck, chest, gut, and thigh. Including the ones buried into the top of her foot, she was pin-cushioned by 5 stakes.
Green one.
AC, you're on set.
This fucking line.
AC?
AC?
No, I cannot hear you, AC.
Oh no,
You're
Anna,
not
you've killed
lighting up.
AC's mic, what the fuck?
AC is currently having technical difficulties.
Alright, can you hear me now?
No, we are.
There you go.
Yes, we-
Fuck, what? I don't know what happened. Beatrice-sama. When's my turn?
I'll use you if I think of any more. Be quiet for now. How do you like that? Delano the Witch Hunter? After skewering and burning so many witches in the past, how does it feel to be skewered by a witch this time?
They were all ridiculous arguments, but they came fiercely one after another. Though a total of 5 wedges pierced Adelinor, her expression didn't change in the slightest. However, her movements had indeed been limited.
Well, we sure are scaring you. You can't be twisted logic now.
I don't valid the Nux Decalogue. It's valid. Oh, well done, Beatrice. Even if there was no one in the study, and even if it was a closed room, that alone isn't enough to deny Father's existence.
Against a normal opponent, I think the matter'd settle by now. But this is Delano, head Inquisitor of Heresy. This ruthless woman killed even her father when he violated the Decalogue. Kenzo, now!
Right. Now that Delano had been pinned down, this was their last chance to recover their magical power and escape. Once again, a pitch-black gate began to rise slowly in front of Beato and Kinzo. If the gate had once been opened by simply drawing in the air, it wasn't so easy in the study now, filled as well as with the power of denial.
What do you think, everyone? No matter how much you question the state of this study, you can't question whether or not Father is in good health.
Oh, so you say. Both you and I had better not forget that we are part of this battle, right? I cannot fight against witches, but I can fight against you.
Erika grinned at Natsuhi, with a smile more demonic than a real demon's.
Natsuhi-san, let me ask again. Last night you sure you spoke with the Shirimi at Kinzo-san, right?
Yes. I have said repeatedly I came to deliver reports for the day and to say goodnight.
This may be a strange thing to ask, but since it's needed to prove your innocence, please answer me straightforwardly. This Kinzo you speak of is the Ashurmia Kinzo-san we all know of, right? It isn't a different person or thing with the same name, is it?
I'm not sure what you mean.
It's like this. You didn't, for instance, start calling this room itself Father after Father's death, right? That's what she's asking. You said you gave a daily report to Father before he went to sleep, right? That doesn't mean you gave a daily report to the wall hero by yourself inside the study called Father, right?
How rude! Nothing of the sort happened. Father is father. He is in good health. And I most certainly gave him a report and said goodnight to him last night. I'm not trying to trick you or talk my way out of anything.
I see. In that case, can you repeat what I'm about to say? If you're tricking or deceiving us in any way, you should be able to do it.
Fine. I'll repeat whatever you want.
Repeat it. Ashurmia Natsuhi did, at 11 o'clock last night, speak with Ashurmia Kinza while in the same room as him, this room.
Ashurmia Natsuhi did at 11 last night speak with Ashurmia Kinza while in the same room as him. This room!
Good! Then I'll ask one last thing. Seriously now, Natsuhi-san, you didn't do anything like throwing Kinzo-san out the window after your conversation and locking the window behind him, right? Because everything still makes sense if you did.
Why would I want to chase Father out of the window? This is intolerable! This mockery is intolerable!
Please allow me to speak. The Kinzo Natsuhi mentions refers to nothing other than Ushiromio Kinza.
For your attention, I beg to inform you of the following. Natsuhi claims that she was face to face with Kinzo in the study at 11 p.m.
Not to let her cry, but it was too late. She'd been totally suckered in by their provocation. The blue edge to the foot representing a telephone discussion. The blue edge to the neck representing the study itself being called Kinzo. The blue edge to the gut representing Natsui herself being called Kinzo. The blue edge to the thigh representing Natsuhi letting Kinzo escape out the window and locking it afterwards. The four of them were smashed up with a thin sound, because Natsuhi, the one who knew the truth, had denied them. Those denials had gained the power of the red truth. Despite Kinzo's absence in this closed room, Bieto had introduced 5 ways that Kinzo could still exist. Natsuhi had carelessly crushed the premise behind 4 of those herself. Only one wedge remained. In other words, this was the last blue truth that could bury the contradiction of Kinzo existing in the study at 11 o'clock, not existing there later after it became a closed room. There was only one theory that pierced Delano's chest. Kinzo is hiding somewhere in this room. With that theory, even if Kinzo wasn't present in the closed room study, he could still exist there. If this wedge of Satan's were to be crushed, their chance of escaping this room would become hopelessly dim.
Get out! Betra-sama! Quickly! Escape while you still can! Yeah!
Delano slowly grasped the final wedge, whilst which still pierced her chest. Apparently that vice-like grip was hurting Satan, as though all the bones in her body were being broken.
All that remains is this one wedge. It was about Kinzo hiding somewhere in this room, correct?
As the detective, I've searched all of those places. If I didn't find him, just where could he be hiding?
With the final wedge sticking out of her chest, Delanor slowly approached Beato. If this wedge was taken out, then...
Allow me to ask. Just where in the study is Kinzo hiding?
Well then. Maybe he's under the bed.
A check of that place has been finished, Des.
Maybe he's in the bathtub.
A check of that place has been finished, Des.
Des?
Yes.
Inside the closet. Under the desk. Behind the curtains.
A check of that place has been finished. Check finish. Check finish, Des.
Des?
Elsie.
Behind the bookshelf. Behind the closet. Under the carpet. Under the floor. Above the ceiling. Behind the wallpaper. Inside the sofa. Inside the chair like Danny DeVito. Inside the bed. Inside the blankets. Inside the walls. Inside a rock. Inside a stone. Inside the room!
Check finish. Check finish. Check finish. Sumi, sumi, sumi. Des, des, des. Check, 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 check. Finish, 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 finish. Die the death. Sentenced to death. Great equalizer is the death.
Oh, now I see the dis.
No locations would work against Delanor by that point. Delanor took Beato's final desperate onslaught head-on, turning everything back with a far stronger power of denial. Beat them up. Knock them down with overwhelming force.
No longer does any place exist in this study for Kinzo to escape to!
Beato was blown back like a leaf dancing in the wind, knocked around over and over again like an empty can lying on the road. By now, no matter how many times Beato used the blue truth, it wouldn't be able to defeat Delanor's red.
Witches are so pathetic. You just try to talk your way out of things endlessly, trying to confuse the truth. Let me borrow Delanor's words. I'm disappointed, Beatrice-san.
Erica coldly delivered these decisive words to Beato, who is crawling on the ground.
Detective's authority. The detective has the right to inspect all crime scenes. I have exercised this right. Therefore, I can say this. Kinzo-san is not inside this room. Furthermore, this room is a perfect closed room. From the above 2 points, I can state this fact. This room was empty the whole time. Natsu-san lied about having met Kinzo here last night. That makes this checkmate, Beatrice-san. How's that? Simplify the reasons of this room. So reasoning is possible for Furuto Erica. What do you think, everyone?
Gotta get her laughs right. At these words, the final wedge shattered. At the same time, the pitch-black gate that was about to open shattered once again. That time, the warp portal had been completely destroyed. No longer would Kinzo be permitted to exist in this room, or escape from it. Beato struggled to her feet, but that was the best that she could do. She no longer had the energy to fight. She'd taken all of the denying red head-on from close range. It took her strength just to withstand a pain so strong, it felt like she'd vomit up all of her insides.
Even Beata, who had always aimed for the title of strongest and most evil witch, couldn't do a thing against a witch hunter. No matter how sturdy a sandcastle you built on the beach, it could never win against the rising tide.
Sorry, Kenzo. Looks like this opponent really was tough after all.
Beatrice, I thank you. You've done so much for me despite your remaining grudge.
I guess it's true that your life flashes by when you see death coming. I've remembered how you once looked when you were young. You were annoyingly like Battler.
I am now passed on everything. My soul and the qualifications of the head to Battler. I no longer have any regrets.
Battler. My apologies. How pitiful. Though I swore to fight with you once again, I must settle my accounts like this.
To Beata, it seemed as though Battler had met her gaze. There was no way he could have. This Battler was the Peace Battler. There was no way he could see Beata in this higher level world. However, his eyes really did meet hers. Even if they couldn't have, Beata was sure they did. As Erika, Ava, and the others closed in on Natsuhi, questioning her over and over, only Battler stood apart from the tumult. His expression held none of the enthusiasm and excitement that the other humans had. It just piercingly and coldly surveyed the scene, and the expression of his face was a quiet displeasure, anger. He wasn't feeling compassion for Natsuhi because her lie was about to be exposed. However, he couldn't excuse Erika, a self-proclaimed intellectual rapist, who simply enjoyed cornering Natsuhi and those who sympathized with her. Then he whispered softly, "It's useless." Beata and the others definitely heard that.
You don't think Battler might turn things around from this weakened position?
I probably could have done it back in the day. And Battler can probably do it.
Battler.
Battler, if you are indeed the man who will inherit everything from me, now is the time to prove it. Don't let the legend of the Golden Witch end here.
It's true, I met Father here last night. It's true. And he spoke to me of the Shurima family's glorious history, as well as the burden of bearing it.
Your lie has already been exposed, Natsuhi-san. We already know that you were alone in the room last night. Isn't it about time to give up and confess? Culprits who are bad at giving up tend to go with bad mystery novels. At least in the end. Please prove that this is a slightly better third-rate mystery than that.
Ah, it's useless. It's all useless. Battler, who had been silent, off by himself up until then, spoke. At first it sounded as though he was attacking Natsuhi. However, when Erika realized he was glaring directly at her, her expression visibly clouded with displeasure.
And just what are you calling useless?
If this is a third-rate mystery, then the detective's a third-rate too. Listen
Zing.
up. I'm gonna become grandfather.
Battler?
You'll become Kinzo-san? Are you saying you'll become Kinzo-san and reenact his disappearance from the room? Do you actually intend to deny my checkmate? Fool!
What's this man saying?
Hey, new girls. This here's your first game, right? Sorry, but it's totally useless to call checkmate after a little something like that. Yeah, it's all useless.
What are you talking about, Battler? You say you'll become Dad?
Yeah, I'll reenact it. I'll become grandfather and disappear from this room.
You can't use the windows or doors, right? How would you do that?
Did you find a hidden door?
I don't have a clue either. Yes, not a clue. God, I suck at doing these voices on demand.
Russell?
Yeah, it's hard for Nandro to.
The sound wasn't the noise of just the onlookers fidgeting. It was a provocative chill that ran up Erica's spine.
Interesting. I see. You're the successor to the Ishimiya family headship, the one who bears the head's ring. That should more than qualify you to stand in for Kinzo-san. Why don't you let us have a look at your theory?
Erica's expression was no longer a challenging smile. It was malice. Overwhelmingly displeased. Malicious. Overwhelmingly displeased. She couldn't conceal her anger at having this very pleasurable time of hers ruined.
How will he get us out of here?
I've got it. I see. So that move is still open.
So you finally figured it out, you damn geezer. Indoors and hiding under the bed. All that stuff is so pitiful it brings tears to my eyes. This is the Shimiya Kinzo we're talking about here. Gotta be a more thrilling and exciting answer.
Exactly. How pitiful that even I couldn't think of it, even though it was about me. And how pitiful that the only one of my relatives to understand me is Battler, the kid who's returned after being gone 6 years. Battler, take my place. Do not shame me.
Sure, Gramps. Each these guests what the dignity of the Ishimiya family head is all about.
What are you planning to do, Father?
Nazi, Beatrice, watch! We'll show what being the Ishimiya family head truly entails.
Battler, what's he trying to prove?
There's no way he can do anything. This is a perfect closed room.
Natsuhi, come over here. And move as I tell you. Bandler called Natsuhi over to the window and whispered something into her with his back towards the others.
Miss Delanor, you're ready for everything, right? It's not possible for Kinzo and the witch to slip out of this room, right?
Of course. Gertrude, Cornelia, and the palace guards. Double check that the seal of this closed room is perfect.
Please allow me to speak. Our barrier is perfect.
Allow me to speak. There are no hidden doors and escape will not be granted through either door or window. Palace guards, when Battler engages the barrier, fire arrows without hesitation.
Just a corpse, Roger. Battler Summer, prepare yourself.
Escaping from this room is impossible.
But I'll do it, yeah.
How?
He certainly could have succeeded without any basis. That's what it means to be the Ishimiya head, yeah?
Renove, you're chiming in.
True. Let's watch.
Yeah. Let's see the majesty of Risha's opponent. Then I'll begin. Everyone nodded and watched Battler's every move. My father was lying in bed like this, grunting his understanding of Aunt Natsuhi's daily report or whatever. Battler lay down on the bed himself. As if it still mattered now, Erica grumbled about disturbing the crime scene, but no one listened to her. I stopped answering and sleep. Well, realistically speaking, I probably just got tired of all that talking and only pretended to be asleep.
You really do get it.
I see that the father has gone to sleep. Bow silently and leave.
Natsuhi lowered her head to Battler, who was still lying down on the bed, and turned around. They started wandering around as though doing an inspection of the room. After seeing their grandfather was asleep, Natsuhi probably did an inspection of the room before leaving. Of course, she had Shan the others clean it every day, but she still checked it thoroughly herself, making sure there was no dust piling up. Make sure he hadn't run out of any consumables.
Yes. This is the room of the precious family head, so I check everything carefully myself instead of relying entirely on the servants. I always do that. That's true. Madam usually checks things very carefully.
Her inspections are very detailed, and she even checks all the consumables in the washroom one by one.
In other words, we aren't just talking dust in the windowsill like you see all the time on TV. To see there's enough soap and toilet paper in the washroom. Though she probably doesn't have to do it each day. She's very devoted.
That is my routine. I mustn't slack off in my inspection of the head's room for even a single day.
So what's your point? Please keep any showing off to a minimum.
Isn't getting to show off the biggest perk to being a detective?
I'm a detective!
Since we're inside the study, you can probably tell. But even though we call it a study, it wouldn't be wrong to call it a second house inside the mansion. There's a sleeping room, a study, a washroom, and even a toilet and bath. In other words, it isn't a single room. You could call it a full house.
Thank you for the explanation of the room's layout. However, the move of having him hide somewhere in this room has already been defeated.
He isn't hiding. However, there's gotta be several blind spots. For example, if Aunt Natsuhi went to the bathroom to check the amount of toilet paper, most of the study would be outside of her range of vision. In other words, for almost every location in the study, the sole observer would have disappeared.
Observer disappearance! We lost track of Kinzo!
Let it be said that the witch's darkness is filling the study.
Excellent. Watch as it feels the power of darkness.
So?
Are you fucking handsome?
So if Natsuhi goes away, so what? What next?
When Grandfather notices that fussy Aunt Natsuhi leaving, he got up.
Why?
On a twisted night such as this, what better way to enjoy a drink than bathe in twisted weather under the night sky?
Zanatsu is in the blind spot of the bathroom. It becomes possible for Grandfather to walk about the study at will. It's possible for him to move without Natsuhi's knowledge. It's possible for him to move without contradicting what Natsuhi knew.
Warning. Butler is approaching the study door.
Allow me to speak. A noise rings out when the lock on the study door is released. Know that you cannot leave the door without drawing Natsuhi's suspicion.
Because Balor had acted as though he was heading for the door, Gertrude, who was sealing the door, immediately sent out a warning. Maybe it was possible for him to leave the study while in Natsuhi's blind spot. However...
That's right! There's the sound! There's a loud sound that when the auto lock is released. Even if Natsuhi was in a blind spot inside the study, she wouldn't miss hearing that. Of course she'd find it odd.
Allow me to speak. Let it be said that Natsuhi did not hear the sound of the door opening while in the room.
The washroom and toilet are very close to the door. Even if they hadn't been, the auto lock always let off such a massive sound. She'd be able to hear the sound no matter what. Natsuhi had already spoken with Erika and the others about the details of the previous night, and quite clear that nothing out of the ordinary had occurred. Any arguments that relied on Natsuhi failing to hear the lock wouldn't work.
Please allow me to speak once more. Kinzo entering or exiting through the door will not be permitted.
Let it be said that this is a useless struggle. It is foolish.
It's true. I can't break through any of the red of that girl by the door. But what about you over there by the window? Turning his back to Gertrude, who claimed that leaving through the door was impossible, I locked his gaze on Cornelia, who stood in front of the window. Make sure you hold that barrier of yours up tight, because you're gonna be blasted away, okay? By now, Battler's target was clear. It was Cornelia. It was the window. He was going to smash this closed room from the window. Not expecting to be chosen as the target herself, Cornelia was overwhelmed for just a second, but she quickly regained her composure. On rare occasions, struggling, fleeing witches would directly challenge the barriers Cornelia set up. Such witches were always fighting desperately on the brink of death.
Please, allow me to speak. You are Battler's target, Cornelia. I ask that you be on your guard.
Oh. God, have pity on this foolish lamb.
I'm no sheep. Head of the Ashermia family is an eagle, with one wing. You can keep me shut up in this study forever with just a flimsy window like that. And from a low posture, both silent and supple, Battler ran forward like a white leopard.
This guy couldn't possibly mean to.
This is... Allow me to speak. There is no way to defeat my red. Know that your wish will not be granted.
Cornelia thrust out both of her arms and made a sign. When she did, a red barrier closed in front of Battler.
Know that your curse is a fruitless one, Shirime Battler. Know that these windows are sealed from the inside, and Natsu did not help Kinzo to escape.
I'm not saying Aunt Natsuhi helped Grandfather escape. What if Grandfather snuck out, keeping it a secret from Aunt Natsuhi?
Why would Kinzo go out the window on his own?
What better way to enjoy a drink on a twisted night than leaping through the rain-swept skies?
But this is the 3rd floor, right? It's impossible!
Even you jumped down a flight of stairs at least once in your life, right? 3 stories is nothing for Kinzo!
I wouldn't put it past him.
Who's that?
I certainly wouldn't. Sorry, I was trying to get it right the first time.
That's ridiculous!
Blue cracks appeared in Cornelia's red bearer, as it was shattered with a crisp sound. It was all far too quick. Almost as though she'd gotten out of the way of herself in fear of Battler.
Endless 9. Magic resistance. Endless 9.
Cornelia-sama, you can't block it! Retreat!
At the same time the barrier shattered, the window behind Cornelia's back was flung open. The curtains fluttered for just an instant. Though it was all filled with rain, the heavens and the courtyard were spread out in front of them. A fitting exit for the eagle leaping from from this closed room.
Cornelia, repair the barrier.
You wish, Commander Lenore. Know that you will not be allowed to break this.
Cornelia quickly returned to her senses and set up another red barrier. However, this was her last one.
Please, allow me to speak. Let us accept for the time being that Kinzo escaped through the window. In that case, how did he lock a window which cannot be locked from the outside? The window was locked from the inside.
Useless!
Yeah, it's all useless! Kinzo and Battler grinned. Think that this feeble red could block the charge of Battler and Kinzo, the 2 family heads. As Grandfather jumped out of the window, a Nazi probably noticed a slight draft. She then approached the window, realized that it was wide open, and quickly closed and locked it.
Natsuhi probably couldn't even imagine that I had slipped out of the window.
Yeah,
It's only natural that Nazi thought grandfather was sleeping in bed. Now that Balor had found the answer, the red berry was more fragile than thin glass. The red magical wall of certainty had been smashed again, so easily that it could disgrace the name of certainty itself. Unbelievable, right? That berry was more firm than any Ronavi had ever used against Jessica. And yet it had been destroyed so easily. The Balor was rushing fiercely and it almost reached Cornelia. She didn't step aside. Her steel spirit, worthy of the name of Essern Jugendfrau, did not allow her to step aside.
Eiserne Jungfrau.
Thank you. She took a charm from her pocket, placed it against the thin air, and made a sign. Then, not red, but blue burned there. That was far more frail than the red barrier. It was her last method of resistance.
You won't get through. You won't. Let me speak. Let me speak. Be that as it may, this is the 3rd floor. How could a wingless human escape from the window? Know that you won't get through. You won't!
Just quit your whining and watch! This is the answer!
Battler jumped. He burst through Cornelia and her blue barrier, knocked them away, and his body flew out the window through the darkness of the rainy sky.
Eiserne Jungfrau.
Eiserne Jungfrau, okay. A fragment of the blue barrier scattered, beautifully adorning the surrounding air. The closed room had been smashed open. Battler flew out of the mansion, through the sky above the rainy courtyard. All the raindrops became small, round gems that were scattered through the air. Battler flew across the treasure box world of this exquisite stormy sky, with the countless gems of rain that filled it. The sky over the world frozen in time, Delanor and Battler faced each other. A Battler who had smashed and flown out of the window was a knight leaping off a white horse. Then Delanor was another knight, who floated in the air, waiting for him. In the air above the courtyard surrounded by the Ashurmia mansion and frozen in time, the true new head of the Ashurmia family and the disciple of heaven who would test him crossed paths.
Well done. When you fall into the courtyard, whether you live or die, it won't change the fact that Kinzo could have defeated this closed room. You who have thrown away your life and jumped are a martyr. Well done, you have smashed our closed room barrier. Splendid, Ushurmia Battler. However, I am the head Inquisitor of Heresy, Eleanor A. Knox. I cannot allow you to escape out this room from under my nose. Now, at the end, allow me the honor of crossing swords with you.
Sure, bring it on. This game is surprisingly unrelenting. In this world where the gems of rain fell so like a large snowflake on a snowy field, Delanor and Battler slowly crossed paths. It seemed slow, yet it happened in a flash. Their gazes crossed and clashed like lightning. Knight confronted knight head on, and everything would be settled with a single strike. Blue and red crossed paths.
Was the existence of Natsui's blind spot within the study depicted beforehand? If it was not, this theory is impermissible. Nox is 8th. It is forbidden for the case to be resolved with clues that are not presented.
Delanor's double strike with both the blue and the red blades reached out to slice Battler, and failed.
Those longswords were never lost over the course of 100 battles, cut through empty air. And to the study, its structure was mentioned clearly. Too bad for you. For the first time, an expression showed on Delanor's face. It was a sudden smile. She had known about that long before. However, she still couldn't let him escape without attempting that single strike. Not even with her reputation as an inquisitor of heresy on the line. She still crossed swords with Balor, even though she knew it would fail.
Yes, I knew. With your answer, Nox's Eighth is not violated.
Here it comes. No hard feelings.
Yes, come.
Balor's hand was a blade that shone red. That blade etched out the red truth. It wouldn't be an exaggeration to say that Kinzo's study was a small villa he had created inside this mansion. A study, a book archive, a place to sleep, and a bathroom and washroom. It was divided into multiple rooms. That had already been shown. And suggests that there could have been a blind spot somewhere within the room. Without any mercy. No. Without any reluctance, which would have been dishonorable. The sort of red truth cut into Delanor. It cut a beautiful hemisphere through the countless gems of rain that filled the sky.
Well done.
Time exploded into life. Both of them fell through the courtyard. One drifted down, the other tumbled through the air. Then there was a soft sound and a dull thud. The first was the sound of Balor landing gently in the courtyard. The second was the sound of Delanor crashing down. After crouching down for a while, Balor slowly stood up. Though he had jumped down from the third floor, he had landed as lightly as though he had merely jumped over a fence.
Battler!
He leaned out of the study window, looking to see if the supposedly wingless Balor had landed safely. Beardo! Come on, jump!
Huh?
That window's our way out, so jump! You're the kind of witch who can be locked up inside a closed room, right? The study was no longer a closed room. He could jump from here, escape from here. By now, this closed room that had threatened to capture the witch and suffocate her had been destroyed.
Yes. You too, Kinzo.
Go. Though Balor showed his answer, my spirit had already escaped from this room.
Kinzo's form became a cloud of gold butterflies and disappeared. The closed room barrier had dissolved, and the power that denies magic had scattered. Beardo ran towards the window. That was the only exit from the closed room of this witch hunt. After glancing at the chasters and the subordinates of the Inquisitor of Heresy, she raided her wound-covered body and ran towards the window, just like Balor had done. She looked like Cinderella, running as she heard the bell toll.
There's no way we'll let you escape, Beatrice, illusion of the Golden Witch!
Erica flew at Beardo, trying to latch onto Beardo as she dashed. It was like trying to catch smoke, and she landed face first on the floor. There was no way a human could catch a witch. One such as her, without love, even touching Beardo was impossible.
Shift the corpse! Shoot the witch! Shoot her dead!
Alignment conflict. Unable to fire.
Allow me to speak. I have no barrier prepared that can block Battler's blue truth.
Both Chester 00 and Gertrude spoke with unbelievably calm voices.
No one can stop them? Not Battler, not Kinzo, not Beatrice. If these guys manage to escape, my closed room, my theory. I'm the detective, Furudo Erica.
Erica crouched, screaming and clutching at her head. The Great Golden Witch isn't going to be defeated by something like that geezer's grubby study. That was the first Twilight. These newcomers that your game isn't that easy. Just like Battler, Beato also flew. He drifted down through the rain treasure box world into Battler's chest.
Nice CG.
Battler caught her with both arms as though catching a feather from an angel. It's like a knight catching a princess who had been locked up in a tower. Like a beautiful picture of a scene in some fairy tale. Crap, I think I'm in love. All the Ashurmia family heads like this.
If you were to write down the unprecedented feats of the Ashurmia Kinzu, you'd probably have a warrior's tale longer than any grimoire in the study put together. It seems the tale of the next head will be worth writing down as well. In fact, it's already being written. It's already a very, very long tale.
Demons giggled on top of the roof, holding umbrellas. And they quietly looked down over the two in the courtyard.
You're not bad at all.
I guess your games have toughened me up a bit. In shock, Beato actually praised Battler as he held her in his arms. Battler laughed in his usual carefree way.
This is impossible! Impossible!
Erica looked down from the window and clenched her teeth, still clutching at her head. Still holding Beato in his arms, Battler grinned back. Erica.
What?
I'm not giving the riddle of the Golden Witch to you. I'll solve it. The riddle belongs to the two of us. Right, Beato?
Indeed. My riddle is you.
Yo? Battler laughed evilly. Beato's face turned uncharacteristically red. But even so, she spoke while laughing loudly.
My riddle is yours alone. Ushiromiya Battler. I won't let anyone else solve it.
Listen to her saying something like that. Battler snorted, amused that Beato had said something that was so out of character. And still holding Beato in his arms, he spun around in a kind of waltz. The falling gems of rain celebrated their victory over this trial.
He jumped down from the third story, and he's alright. He jumped down and escaped from the closed room. This is ridiculous. This isn't reasoning. It's insane.
If Battler had at least been seriously injured and writhing in the mud, Erica might have seriously had some ground to stand on. She might have been able to claim that Kinzo couldn't have jumped down with his old body and gotten away unscathed. However, Battler stood calmly in the courtyard, looking up at Erica with the dignity of the victor.
Everyone, I'll ask one more time. This is impossible, right? There's no way a human could jump down from a third story and land unharmed. Isn't that right, everyone? Much as Kento-san jumping down from the third floor at his age, this isn't reasoning!
Erica tried to give everyone's agreement, and somehow turned things around. But their responses were no different from how they'd been a short while ago.
No, it would be possible for Kinzo-san.
I wouldn't put it past Father.
This is Father we're talking about.
I have plenty of crazy stories about that man. Something like this wouldn't surprise me a bit.
What? Something wrong with your heads? With your brains, people?
At any rate, it looks like your closed room argument wasn't perfect.
Yeah, it's sorry. Not only the servants, but the family members also agreed. We all agreed that there was nothing strange about Kinzo jumping down from a third-floor window.
Just who in the world is this Shirmiya Kinzo person?
Well, I'll give you 60 points. Kinzo would have done it with a bit more flash in his younger days. It needs some more tweaking.
Oh, and how much should it be tweaked?
Well, he might have jumped down with me in his arms.
Got it. Next time, I'll do that.
If you think you can, just you try.
Diana's voice grew very faint and she gulped. Then her body suddenly crumbled away into a cloud of gold butterflies. This is because many people had rushed up to the window, and she was being bathed with gazes filled with the anti-magic toxin. Diana's body became invisible to them and melted in the air. So to their eyes, it appeared that Battler was standing all alone out in the courtyard.
Battler! You okay?
It looks like he's fine. Thank goodness.
I have lost. In that case, for the benefit of those people in the study as well, deliver your final blow to me. Use your final blue truth to show how Kinzo escaped from the closed room of that study.
There's no pain in Delanor's expression. Pleasure and pain never showed up on her face in the first place. However, she was only barely able to rise to her feet, using her longsword as a crutch. Easy to guess how heavily she'd been damaged. And despite her lack of an expression, you could tell that this was a loss she could accept. Valor and Delanor turned to face each other. Here I go.
Yes, come.
As though readying herself, Delanor quickly closed her eyes, but she stood tall and maintained her dignity. This is my blue truth. The blue power gathered. Valor slowly approached Delanor. Then he faced the rainy sky and yelled out the blue truth. The Shirimiya Kinzo escaped from the study through the window and Anatsuhi couldn't see him. Anatsuhi did notice and looked out the window. This way, Anatsuhi can see Grandfather go to bed at 11 o'clock, and Grandfather can escape from the study without contracting the lock of the window, or the door sealed by the receipt. I proved in my demonstration that this escape was physically possible. Therefore, this battle is over. The blue edge flashed through the courtyard along with a blue bolt of lightning, roaring down towards Delanor's forehead as she stared up at the sky. Theodore's game isn't forgiven. He's doubtful whether the classic patterns of the mystery genre even work here. The swordsmanship isn't bad. You gotta be a little bit more flexible in your thinking. A massive blue wedge looked like a pillar was above Delanor's forehead, and it stopped with its tip just slightly touching her. It didn't run her through. It made a mark larger than being poked with a pencil. Weather snapped his fingers, the blue wedge shattered and became a shower of translucent gems. No, drops of rain that poured down over the courtyard. Delanor sat down in a dazed sort of way. Amidst the thunder and rain, the successor of the Ashurmiya family headship faced the people staring down from the study, and spread his arms wide. Welcome to Beato and Mai's game. Welcome, Thurudo Erika!
How amusing is Shirmiya, Battler. Good though. Truly good though. I'll chew it to bits. This riddle of the witch. All the way deep into the guts while it's still alive.
Battler and Beato both look calmly up at Erika, who couldn't contain her evil laugh.
Oh, this is really good stuff. Erika, that was so lame.
Lady Berncastle. My apologies.
That look on your face. It's so incredibly laughable that I'd like to smash it and put a frame around it. My double is so pathetic, lame.
Bathed in the sneers of Berncastle, a being who was like a mother to her, Erica was so ashamed that it looked as though she'd chew her lower lip to pieces. Someday, I'll definitely Shiramia Butler, Beatrice, Shiramia Natsui.
This riddle is ours. Won't let anyone get in the way. Beatrice?
Yes.
Woo!
That was hype.
Holy shit.
What
Episode.
Good
I hope you did okay.
Where's Delanor, everyone?
That was hype, man.
Backwards, it's Ronald.
Might as well check
I
the
already
text,
figured that
couldn't
out.
you? Yeah. There's people's names like that.
So yeah, I posted it in the chat, but I'm still not sure. What was the point of any of this?
Is this all the closed room?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but like,
Aren't you didn't check the character profiles.
Oh, right here. Characters.
I mean, the point was to prove that the guy could have jumped out a window, but like, they just spent so much energy on that. That's all I'm
Oh,
saying.
wow, the 556 is still here.
Wow.
Well, now what a dead bitch.
Just
Eleanor
one entity.
A member of Ezern Jurgen. I'm sorry, hold on, I got to look at the fucking pronunciation again because I've never been able to figure it out.
Eiserne Jungfrau.
Eiserne Jungfrau. I took German for 5 years. I don't fucking retain shit.
Wow, for 5 years?
Yep. There's the introductory course and then like 4-ish courses. Member of Eiserne Jurgenfrau. The 7th District Repentance Enforcement Agency of the Great Court of Heaven. Chief Inquisitor, ranked Archbishop, 1st class. Goes by the name Delanor of the 10 Wedges, or Death Sentence Delanor. She goes by the name Death Sentence because the Inquisitor normally judges their targets to determine whether they deserve the death... Oh god. They deserve the death penalty or not. Delanor, as the Chief Inquisitor, is only dispatched after a case has been vigorously inspected by the Great Court. Therefore, the very act of dispatching her is equivalent to a death sentence. Her father was a legendary Inquisitor, but he broke the rules and was executed. She was the one to interrogate and execute him. Since that time, she has stopped growing, and both her body and mind remain eternally those of a young girl. It is that her heart also died at that moment, but she does not see it that way. Her primary weapons are the conceptual arms, red key, and blue key, in the form of a long sword and a short sword. Gertrude. A member of... I've already forgotten how to say it correctly.
Eiserne Jungfrau.
Eiserne Jugendfrau.
Eiserne Jungfrau.
Good enough. Yeah, I don't think it's Yugen.
Say you can frown.
I don't think it's Yugen.
Eiserne Jungfrau.
Iron Maiden.
Iron Maiden. The 7th District Repentance Enforcement Agency of the Great Court of Heaven. Senior Assistant Inquisitor, ranked Minister, 1st class. As an Assistant Inquisitor, she is tasked with aiding during interrogation and hearings. In practice, execution ends up being the primary focus of most missions, and so she is usually assigned to the job of using barriers to block the target's means of escape. On duty, she is calm, flawless, and expressionless. Expressionless and emotionless. However, in truth, she is quite compassionate and is loved by many of her juniors. Daria passed the exam to become a full Inquisitor and was offered a position in a different district, but she refused. She continued to serve alongside Delanor, to whom she owes a great debt, waiting for a reassignment under her. Therefore, she is an assistant. Though she is an assistant, she is treated as an Inquisitor. Archbishop 3rd class. Treated, not tweeted. 7th is Iron Maiden, the Assistant Inquisitor ranked Minister, 3rd class.
It took all those years for... Oh, sorry.
She obtained high grades in academic exercises, but this is her first time on the job. She possesses a strong sense of justice and is currently cramming for exams to become an Inquisitor like Delanor. Her current goal is to become more like the veteran assistant, Gertrude. She actually has a zealous personality. She pretends to be emotionless in imitation of Gertrude. She is too innocent and pure for one connected to the heresy hearings, and she knows nothing of the dirty jobs and dark side of the profession. Gertrude intentionally selected her for the mission, which stinks of Senate conspiracy. She did this to give Cornelia a chance to ask herself whether this sort of job really is the right one for her.
He took so many years in German he forgot English for a brief second there.
Very true.
This explains all of his strange slip-ups anytime anything's gone wrong.
Yeah, it's just the German classes re-traumatizing him. It's the PTSD.
I blame everything. And
I blame
everyone.
the hype. I can like whenever you get excited.
Oh
Me
yeah,
too,
100%. Here, I gotta move this actually. Shit. There we go.
So, funny enough, I actually saw Delano before we met her here.
Yeah, I bet you did.
Yes, you did.
No, I told you guys. I told some of the Golden
Yeah, you
Lion
told
guys.
AC and you told
you only saw the character design and you knew nothing of the character's personality, so I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
That still is not a free pass to look up character designs, though.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'd rather go ahead and wait for the references here on the Discord, actually.
What do you mean?
Like, she'd rather wait to see just like the stuff that we're talking
Yeah.
about later on, instead of looking it up and getting spoiled, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did post the
Well,
CG of
crazy
Valor
maybe, but I'm
catching
not that
Beatrice.
crazy.
Very
Is
good.
trying to find sprites still like really bad thing to do on
Oh
your
yeah,
own?
100%.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
2000% yes.
Very bad.
Very bad.
Do not do
I
it
have done
until
this
we have-
once, and I have not been spoiled. So
Shelly,
it's
I will
very
personally
shocking.
roll up and kill you.
Like the
I mean, I just go on Google Images, so I just see the pictures.
Which is
Shall we-
even worse.
Yes, the
It is
pictures.
literally the most unfettered way to look at pictures, and therefore the most dangerous.
Anywho, I'm starting the timer because bitch has tummy hurt disease and I'm gonna be right back in 5 minutes. Start thinking.
Okay.
Hey guys,
Wait, you guys drink?
if you're curious on how Delanor sounds in Japanese, I posted a clip in the reference room.
Very important. I highly recommend it.
Oh, 100%, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess we might as well go through a little bit of trivia about some of the casting decisions for this scene. Because originally, I was going to be Delanor. I love Delanor so much. She's such a fun character.
You have to say your name right, though.
Can
Yeah,
we
Delanor.
get your Die the Death?
Sure. Simides, dies a des, sentenced to death. The great equalizer is a des.
If I may, if I may add some fun trivia, Orange slid that in our finale of Danganronpa 2.
I was gonna say, I knew he slid it in somewhere.
See me.
Also, before you say anything plot specific to
I won't
everyone
say-
else,
I won't
Chelly is
say-
here. Chelly
I'm
has
not
not
gonna.
gone for
Yeah.
two.
I'm not gonna say anything about 2, but
I'm
there's
going
a
through
moment-
the Game Grumps playthrough, so I have to wait.
Also, in
mofo.
Silver Case, the phrase what is it? Kill the life came out, and he says dies the death.
Wait, what did Com say?
I called Orange a cheeky mofo.
What?
Oh,
Oh yeah, because there's just a scene where a character yells death a lot, and I was voicing them, so I snuck that in there because it was a very good time to do it.
I
but yeah.
have to admit, like, a lot of people don't like Game Grumps humor anymore, but just, like, watching them play Danganronpa and them going just like, what? Every, like, 20 minutes is pretty funny.
And then hearing them go off about how awesome Gundam Tanaka is.
Yeah.
The first playthrough went just so fucking frustrating. I couldn't.
Oh yeah.
Are you up to date on that, or did you drop off?
I just caught up with it. They just got to Hiyoko being a nasty, smelly person.
Oh yeah, sorry about the breath stuff. I guess I was a little too close to the mic sometimes.
And the executions are a little bit more interesting if the first one is anything to say to it.
But Danganronpa aside, but yeah, we ended up moving around a few characters. Like unfortunately, what is it? Originally Cornelia was going to be Bone, but since Rindy was showing up and we wanted to give her a few extra roles, we did a little bit of swapping around, and that's something that kind of fit her pretty well. What did you say, Rindy?
I demanded to be Gertrude.
and I got what I asked for.
Let me speak.
I
Alright,
appreciate the
yeah,
extra credit of the German.
Mhm. Other than that, yeah, another reason for that was because, as you can see, Erica's very wacky character, to say the least. And
Chaotic bastard.
I was a little, it was going to be a little bit difficult, like, giving, essentially, it assloads of character direction to Khan right before anything happens. So we thought it'd be a good idea to have somebody who kind of knows what she acts like to do VA. And I was like, hey, so who wants the beer? And no one else stepped up, so I did it.
I was
Wait,
like,
what?
Orange, you be Erica.
Mhm. Which admittedly is a little... I know it's a little annoying because like I'm talking to myself for a little bit because Erica and Battler are kind of like rivals in this scenario. But
Welcome to my world, man.
yeah, Khan does that constantly, so do not criticize me for this, please. I will say also, that was Noir's final role. Gertrude is his last one.
Well, I mean, I still have everyone else. It's just that they happen to die all the time.
Well, I mean, like, it's your final unlock. Like, you've unlocked that last
Yes,
role.
you have now unlocked all of the Noir roles.
Fun fact: Ronave was my last.
Oh yeah.
Originally, I was gonna voice the professor guy that was in episode 4, but we gave that to Robu.
But yeah, apologies for the like panting and shit. It's just I get really into it, as you can very obviously tell.
I
And
actually
yeah,
didn't notice.
I think
Well, it came through on the stream.
I need to change some of like the audio shit for Streamlabs because like I do want to make sure that all my audio gets through properly. But the issue is that like I don't want anything to get cut out when I'm talking. And like, what is it? I have it so it's like a certain decibel level for Discord, so it cuts out like any of the like just kind of like noises like that shit. But the problem is I don't want any of that cut out in here, so I'm kind of trying to moderate that a little bit. But you know, like I said, I get a bit too into it, and that kind of causes problems sometimes.
I remember going through Umineko myself, and when I got to Lenore, it's like, damn, that's the most taken role for sure. There's no fucking way that Troy's fucking free.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
so-
you actually did message me the same. Like,
Yeah.
Does anybody
Back in
Delaware was like
exactly
a
5
yes?
minutes. Hello.
But yeah, to elaborate from Arinda in the chat, Golden Theater is what we're calling essentially like our, I guess you could say like, big sort of projects that we put a little bit more effort into. Like, stuff like the Silver Case and shit like that is kind of like a little bit more casual. And we do that on the side, essentially. Oh yeah, Rindy, you wanted to be Delano. Apologies.
Thank you very much.
Wait,
At least
no.
you're still a part of the game.
Sentenced to death. Great equalizer is the death.
It's fine, it's
Robot,
fine.
I did not say
Is it death or death?
Yeah.
So,
it's
you know
both.
how in Japanese they often answer
In
that
Japanese,
with
you
that?
would say it des.
Oh.
So they use that as like, yeah,
It's a
kind of
pun.
both.
Yep. Another example of that is whenever you're watching Ray Zero, there's a character named Betelgeuse who often says death and it sounds like death.
I've never heard of
Basi-
that, but thank you for the
Basically, Delanor ends a lot of her
You've never
sentences
heard of
in
Betelgeuse?
death.
More
ends it in
importantly, in Sifuku, there's a character that goes death.
Give me a sec, I can find a gift of the guy.
It's okay.
More importantly,
so what were
discussion
you gonna
time.
say? Yeah. Yes, it is discussion time.
Alright. I have made a thought. Shall I tell my thought? Are you guys ready?
Go.
Alright, one thought. Wait, let me do this thing quickly.
Gotta mute myself.
Okay, one thought is, could this piece be a toe? The one we've been seeing that is not catatonic. Could that just be her personality ejected from her body? Any thoughts on this? As I scroll to my next thought. I guess not. I noticed that the witch hunter lady has the Nox's Commandments guy's name, and her first name is Ronald backwards. Ronald Knox. I thought that was interesting.
Oh!
I was gonna say, like, I'll be fair, that did take me a minute when I first saw the name.
Yeah, AC was the one that actually pointed out the backwards name
I
thing.
was like, no, like, Bone was like, oh, it's kind of like Nox or whatever. Wait, what was Nox's first name again? Bone's like, I don't know. I'm like, wasn't it Ronald? And then it clicked.
I already knew from the first instance because of reasons.
Sorry, this is just to address something that Marinda said in the chat, but we did read through Higurashi.
Zaz hasn't, and neither has Mindy.
Yet.
Anyway, next thought. Beatrice. It mentioned that Beatrice aimed to be the strongest and most evil witch. And I find it odd that they're trying to play this idea that, oh, she's not actually doing it out of evil. There's mentioned something like that. That she's not doing it out of aggression or something. But then in that narration, it said that she's trying to be the most evil witch. I'm not sure if there's something to look more into that or not.
I think that's more of like a pre-established. I think that's like quoting off of like what we have seen of Beatrice already.
Yeah, I just find it odd that they seem to now be trying to make her more sympathetic whenever it said right there that she tried to be super evil.
Well, I think it helps to state that we now know we don't necessarily know Beato's motives, but we know that her motives are not inherently anything that is pure evil.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
Maybe
confirmed.
it's just unreliable narration. Anyway, I mentioned the idea previously that the idea of Beato and Battler teaming up. Although I find it odd that they're doing it at this moment. I don't quite understand why he's deciding to team up on the witch side at the moment.
The enemy of my enemy is my friend.
He's not, I mean, Erica was just kind of an asshole. She was never really his enemy, was she? It's... What? I mean,
But
do you have an
Erica
idea?
is Battler's enemy, or?
Yeah, it's, like, I mean, I thought they were allies. She was just an asshole.
I think so, but I think it's not impossible for her to be both. That, and she has very clearly turned herself since she's directly announced that she is an intellectual rapist, and she's only doing this to be a shit.
I still hate that term.
I just find it...
No one likes this term. It's almost very specifically bad.
Is it bad that I actually felt really great whenever Erica was just losing her shit?
Yes.
I mean, she...
No, that is the natural reaction because she deserves it.
That said, I just find it odd because, like, I figured that Battler winning means that he gets to go back home. And I find it odd that he's not taking this win. This guy seems to be an ass. I don't know. Oh well.
Priorities.
The priority I thought was to get home.
I
don't know.
I think there's some nuance.
Would you
to
consider
another
the end of the
question.
fourth chapter, or the fourth episode?
What was the end of the fourth episode again? I forget.
Beatrice posed him a question. Who am I?
Who is she?
Alright, I guess he's...
Beatrice issued him one final riddle, and it's up to him to solve it. He mentioned this during his discussion with the Peace Beatrice, after the fall in episode 5.
Alright, then I forgot about that part. I remember now. Alright, so I guess he's trying to prolong it until, he can figure that out? I don't know. Alright.
Arguably, letting the witch hunters win would mean admitting witches exist by extension.
Would it?
Yep.
I thought, the whole thing was, they are denying witches with what they're doing.
They're killing them.
Yeah, but it's like they were trying to prove how a witch was not involved.
A witch trial, by definition, means that they exist by killing them.
But it was in the metaverse, not the real verse.
That would still imply that they would exist.
Killing
Would it?
Yes. It's like killing a creature off in existence. They once existed.
I thought the real world was the one that you were trying to conquer, not the metaphysical personification world.
Metaphysical? Sorry.
They're trying to deny the whole concept of witches, not that they used to exist.
And Bella has referred to Beatrice as a witch and the others as witches multiple times already.
And metaphysically or not, you can't kill something that doesn't exist.
I mean...
Well, I mean, the other half of it is, it's less that Battler thinks that they aren't witches, because that's a pretty vague definition in the first place. It's that he doesn't believe that they're using magic, or that magic is real.
By the way, Con, wouldn't that mean, isn't that just fiction in general? It involves killing things that don't exist. Like you're using the fiction to kill another piece of fiction.
What?
Like a fantasy knight slaying a dragon. Those are two fictional things that one is killing the other. It's like you're dealing with a fictional world.
How does that relate to Umineko?
You said you can't kill a thing that doesn't exist. It's like, well, it doesn't exist, so they're not even trying to really kill anything. They don't exist.
I was talking about an illogical argument of this current situation.
I don't think it works.
It does work, you're just misunderstanding the concept of what's going on.
You're gonna have to explain it better then.
I too am confused about the entire ordeal, and I've completed the visual novel.
Alright, well, I don't think we're gonna get anywhere with this without drawing out too much time. Alright, so I found the idea of Byrne referring to Erica as her double to be an interesting phrasing, which also seems to be the case with Ronove and Genji. I believe that Ronove even mentioned Genji being his double or having some relation to Genji. And I think that's probably similar with Virgilia and Kumasawa, maybe? I don't remember if they mentioned anything about that, but yeah, it does seem like Genji and Ronove have a connection. I'm just wondering if this...
Isn't the Chiesa sisters based off the porcelain rabbits from Maria's?
That was Orange's theory from before he completed it. That was not actually confirmed. Anyway, these are my thoughts.
Anyone else have some thoughts?
I only have a couple.
Go on.
First of all, I love the designs of Delanor, Gertrude, and Cornelia. I also didn't think we'd actually get the physical or metaphysical manifestation of Nox's commandments in this story. I was not expecting that at all.
I mean, yeah. And also the callback to something I've said earlier. Hey guys, be careful when looking up Nox's commandments.
They were literally in the story as metaphysical concepts.
Yeah. Yeah.
And also, you might run into the fifth, and nobody likes the fifth.
I thought you
Especially
couldn't plead the fifth.
Oh.
Well, let's not tell it the fifth one.
I thought you couldn't plead the fifth.
She's making a pun.
Killer.
Nice. Anyway.
I don't think the fifth one will be Japanese, definitely.
You already spoiled it.
It wasn't spoiling anything.
It's also interesting to see that this parallels the first case so well that we actually see the other sides of it. Especially back when episode 1, whenever we first saw Ava with the receipt. Coming back here to see it, just to get it thrown out of the way for Battler to jump out the window.
I mean, that's what I figured that the answers were gonna be. Just recreations of the... Like, just different variation of the first one.
That seems plausible.
Just the fact that even most of us couldn't think of it the first time is amazing!
Wait, think of what again? Wait, think of what?
I didn't.
The window jumping.
Oh, the window jumping.
I saw that first handily.
I mean, I don't think any regular person can expect jumping out a 30-story window.
Even if he had a cushy landing, that's still amazing!
I would need to, like, see a map of this place during the events to even possibly consider that. Especially, like, my brain, like, constantly not getting information because I zone out.
I might actually, when we complete all this and everything, I might actually have to map out some areas to, like, the best that I can get, just to kind of give an idea.
I also just find it hilariously awesome that Erica ends up eating shit after this. Or getting a slice of humble pie.
I feel like for a lot of the major things, a lot of the major mysteries are now just going to have to use nonsense, like get like assumptions or theory guesses, because I honestly can't imagine a regular person would imagine jumping out of the window.
If that's the case, then we've got to ramp up our thinking.
Has there been anything so far to suggest that Kenzo would do something like that?
Yeah.
Well, this is Kinzo.
Yeah, what is it, Crimson?
You remember chapter 4.
No, Kaneka. Me? No. Bad memory. What is it?
I think it was mostly his financial things after he became the head of the family. He basically betted a lot of things that somehow pulled through. Even people back then would have said, "Are you crazy, man? You can't do that." And somehow pulled through because he actually did that.
I don't know if that would...
Alright, okay, so Bone, listen. Let's relieve this chapter. Everybody said, yeah, this is something that Kinzo would do.
I'm just wondering if anything's happened in the other chapters that would...
They
did. What was it?
They say that he is a crazy old man who does crazy wild shit.
Oh, so that's what it was.
That's as much reasoning as you need for why Kinzo would jump out of a window.
He laughed at his baby's death for
It's
no
true.
reason.
He did.
Okay. Yeah, go on, like, more? What else you got?
He loves to eat cocaine.
Honestly, that's all I've got. Everything else this time around was an enjoyable jaunt. So much so, I don't really think I should say much else about it.
Why not?
Because it was all pretty straightforward.
Oh, so just it goes without saying, you mean?
Yes. It goes without saying.
Alright, I guess, unless the others have any other thoughts.
No, some more. It was just straightforward, like Kaneka said.
Anyone else?
I do not care for the first new character's design that much.
One thing I will say about her design is I wish she had pants.
The other ones are cool though.
That is my only issue with that. Otherwise, Delanor is like...
No, it's specifically Delanor.
I wish she had pants because she's like... She has the physicality of a child. It looks really weird. Otherwise, she's one of the coolest fucking characters. I love her so much.
I think it might have to do with just how she's colored that's bothering me. There's something about it that throws it off for me.
The color scheme.
It's not the color scheme, I think it's like the shading and like the blending of colors.
Speaking of characters, I still have one coming up, don't I?
Don't worry about it.
We cannot state if you have any future characters coming up because that would imply that there are future characters.
I mean, you have a document, don't you, that has like question marks on it?
Yeah. We do have that has like a non-disclosed amount.
Yeah.
Granted, I think it might be a little bit out. Oh no, it's correct. No. Yeah, you still have characters coming up, yeah. But just know that like we aren't going to tell you what they are.
I mean, she was just asking if she had more.
She does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like if I'm gonna be direct as possible, the people who have roles left are me, Con, AC, B, and Rindy.
Okay.
Pretty much it. Yeah.
I also ask because mostly I know they're going to be spoiler characters, and I wouldn't know if I'm voicing them until you guys tell me. So...
when we get to the characters, we'll be like, Con, you go.
Yeah, you will know when you'll know.
You will know in due time, and in due time, you will be prepared, fear not.
Okay.
Alrighty.
Alright, I think we are done.
Cool, yeah, we're done. Good night, everybody. We're gonna do our little thing, too, afterwards.
Okay.
Have a good one. Thank you for watching the channel. We'll see you.
Good night.
I'll
Thanks for
see
joining the
you
stream, Melinda.
some other time. Have a nice day.